That looks about good. What's going on, guys? What's up? What's happening? Hopefully I get my microphone situated correctly in here in the closet today. Back again with my fragrances. Not sure if that's a good angle or not. Who knows? It's never easy to get this just right until I get myself a good, professional setup. So we're working at it a little bit at a time. It's never easy when you're new to this kind of thing. But either way, like I said, I'm in here today. Got the good closet situation going on. So I ended up getting the day off, as you guys can probably see and imagine. But I figured I'd do another little live stream, hang out with you guys, talk fragrances, talk whatever you guys want to talk about. Welcome, Andrew Lane, Douglas Moon Fragrance Channel, back again. I actually just got a new fragrance in today, and I'm really surprised with how it actually smells. I don't remember who it was. I think it was Aromatics or somebody was talking about this. I'm pretty sure that's who I saw talking about this fragrance. This is Royal Blend. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of this. Royal Blend Nero. By the way, I know I should probably, before I get too cranked up with this, I should probably wait till a couple more people come through. But hello to anybody who ends up watching. Andrew here at the Douglas Moon Fragrance Channel. Here in my closet doing some reviews again today. I got a little bit more time to do a live stream, talk about some fragrances with you guys, talk about life, whatever. But I just got in this Royal Blend. I saw, I believe, Aromatics talking about this on YouTube or TikTok. He said this is supposed to be like a Latafa Hamra. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I've got all three Latafa Hamras down here on my shelf. And I enjoy the original. Kawa is my favorite. If you haven't seen him before, I've talked about it a lot. Kawa by Hamra, or Kawa Hamra by Latafa is my favorite version of the bunch. But this is supposed to be an honestly more powerful version of that, and it actually is. I can't give you like a full review of its longevity and performance overall, but I can say this does smell just like it. It smells just like the original, which is interesting because I don't really know why a company would make a dupe or a clone of an already cheap fragrance. That's kind of strange to me because I know that this is supposed to be like its own take. Yeah, well, I want to have something under $100. Anything. First of all, good morning, Yuvraj. Hopefully I said that properly. Please forgive me if I didn't, but you want to have something under $100. 100%, yeah. This that I got in my hands right now, this is Hamra by Latafa. I'm just throwing this out there. I'm not sponsored by any company, so when I mention these fragrances, I'm just telling you, but this is, I believe, $35, the original. So if you want something under $100, I personally, I'm not like a guy who pushes dupes and clones on people, but if you want something, you spelled my name right. Thank you. Well, I'm glad that I said that properly. And like I said, welcome to my stream. Happy to have you here. Anybody who comes through, I'm going to be answering for probably about an hour, maybe hour and a half, 2 hours. It just depends on what's going on. I got a lot of family stuff happening, but in between now, I'm going to be streaming, talking about fragrances, answering you guys' questions. But Yuvraj, you're welcome. Ask me whatever. But yeah, this is a cinnamon gourmand type of fragrance, kind of a cinnamon coffee cake type of fragrance. This is Hamra by Latafa. I don't know if you can see that, but that is a pretty decent one under 100. First time here. Welcome, Deanna. Welcome, Deanna. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I'm Andrew, but you guys can call me Douglas. Douglas is my middle name, Andrew Douglas, but my channel is Douglas Moon Fragrance. I answer your questions about fragrances. We talk about life, whatever you'd like to. So any of you guys are welcome here anytime. This is your first time seeing my streams. I do them normally every Wednesday. But again, I'm not sponsored by nobody. Nobody's paying me to do this. So I just like to talk about stuff that I love and answer any of you guys' questions. But again, for anybody who's new here, you don't have to just talk about fragrances. If you want to talk about anything going on in life, whatever. I personally am going through like losing my grandma right now. Like she's currently in hospice and stuff. So I like to connect to people and keep a real community going on. But again, my main basis is about fragrances. But my buddy, you asked me about anything under 100. So yeah, this is a good start. But also, I don't know if you know what Parfums de Marly is. If you do, again, typically I try to recommend for people fragrances. Like I like to discuss fragrances that are more like on the niche and designer end. But I do have a lot of dupes and clones in Middle Eastern perfumery. So I will talk about that. What's the cheapest fragrance you got? Real quick, I'll also tell you Liquid Brune by French Avenue. Another good choice if you're looking for an actual cheap fragrance. But I would say the cheapest fragrance that I have is one that I've got that I'm honestly not even going to do an actual review for. That would be this. I just got this the other day, La Rouge Baroque by, who is this? Maison Alhambra? Something like that. So this is a subsidiary company, I believe, of Latafa. who does make good fragrances from time to time. Don't get me wrong, but this one absolutely like sucks. I saw somebody, a lot of times on these YouTube channels, people will give reviews and really hype up fragrances because they're sponsored or they receive free things. Everything you see here, I paid for. So when I tell you something's not good, I really want you guys to know ahead of time before you spend your money. This was, I believe, $13. So this is supposed to be a take. By the way, I got allergies, so if you guys hear me sniff or whatever, forgive me, please. Especially, got a new microphone, still figuring out how good it sounds. But this is the original Baccarat Rouge Extrait de Parfum by Maison Francis Kirkjohn. So this bottle, I believe, is like close to $300, something along those lines. This is a dupe that I got that is like $13. And so it literally is like you get what you paid for. I saw a couple people saying this was like absolutely fantastic. To be really out of the bottle, and then after you've given it time to dry down on skin for like probably about an hour, the scent is a little similar to the original Baccarat Rouge, but it smells extremely cheap. Obviously, it's $13, but I was hoping that the reviewers that I personally watched were being honest, and this like literally stays on your skin like half an hour. So I like to tell you guys, you know, my personal, actual, honest thoughts, because again, nobody's like sending me free stuff. I don't know if I keep talking about these fragrances the way that I do. Probably nobody ever will send me free things, but that's okay. I just want to tell you guys the truth. So please feel free, ask me about any fragrances you'd like. If you want to know about cheap stuff, I'll tell you. If you want to know about expensive stuff, I'll give you my honest thoughts as well. I'm sorry, I don't about fragrances yet. Hey, that's totally fine, Yuvraj. You don't have to know anything about fragrances. That's totally okay. If you don't even want to know anything about fragrances, that's fine. You're welcome to connect here. You're welcome to communicate. Like, that's the type of environment that I'm having. It helps me as a YouTuber. Actually, speaking of which, let me pull this bad boy out real fast. Here's my, I don't know why I don't normally do this when I stream, pull my silver play button out, but you guys are welcome to be here and just ask about whatever you'd like. Even though when I do these streams, I talk about fragrances because that's what kind of channel I am, and watching my fragrance reviews helps my channel. You guys as well are just helping me out by being here and talking about whatever you'd like to. So don't ever apologize. If you don't even want to ask me about fragrances, that's totally okay. You can ask me about whatever you want. Yeah, here the silver baddie comes. yeah, got to pull that bad boy out just to have it, because I know it actually helps a lot when people come through and they can at least see my play button. So that way it's not just the fragrances, but it's everything. So I don't even literally keep this hung up. Me and my wife just moved into this new house like 3 months ago, and we're still getting everything set up, and I don't even know where I want to put this thing yet, if I'm even going to hang it up. I know this might sound crazy because I'm really happy to have this, but at the same time, a lot of the time I just kind of toss it up into the corner of the closet because I don't know, it is what it is. But thank you guys for being here, and again, anybody who comes through, please feel free to ask questions. Nothing is off the charts. Like, if you start talking, if anybody comes through my chats and starts being like hateful to other people, then that's obviously not okay. If anybody comes through here and is just trying to purely troll, also depending on the type of things you're saying, I like to keep my discussions family oriented. So if you come through and you start commenting things that I wouldn't want younger audiences to see, I'm going to have to get you out of here. But other than that, what do you think about Le Labo fragrances? Brunito, first of all, happy to see you here. I actually have not smelled Le Labo or Le Labo fragrances before. I'm not sure even what that is, so that might sound silly. But hey, what's going up, Kelsey? Welcome back. Super happy to have you here. Probably sounds funny since I told you yesterday that I wasn't going to be back anytime soon. But here I am, bro. You know, I don't got anything, no parents, family, girlfriend yet. I have a living life. Well, you know what? I'm sorry that you don't have anything going on. Like, I'm sorry you don't have a girlfriend or anything like that. But I hope it ends up happening for you one day. So what's your thoughts on Salt and Stone? I keep seeing commercials for it. Salt and Stone. I actually don't know what that is. Salt and Stone. Just happy to be here. I'm happy to have you here, Kelsey. Like I said, I ended up taking the... So just for anybody who doesn't know, not to bore anybody who isn't unfamiliar with my channel stopping through, again, we're going to really talk about fragrances a lot today and just talk about anything. But Kelsey here and other people in the comments who might be familiar know that I got a lot going on with my grandma right now. She is in the process of passing away. But we saw her yesterday. She was able to, after I reminded her who I am, we talked. And she was very happy to see me, very emotional. But she couldn't remember who my dad was the whole time we were there. So I got a couple of days off now because of the fact that it seems like she's going to be passing away soon. But in the meantime, while I got these mornings before I go back over there to spend with her, I'm doing these live streams. Bro, like I am from India and I'm using perfume. It's eau de parfum, beardo, whiskey, smoke. Well, that's cool. First of all, thank you for being here from India. Like a lot of people, they end up watching my stuff coming from India. So I appreciate anybody from anywhere in the world who watches what I do. So thank you for watching it all. And if you say you got one that smells like whiskey and smoke, right, that's a really good. A lot of fragrances that I have personally kind of have that whiskey-ish feel to it, like Side Effect from Initio. That's an expensive one, but this is a cheap one. I just got this in. So glad you got to see her. I sure did, Kelsey, and thank you for taking the time to share some love. And like, I'm so happy you were here yesterday. Forgive me. I appreciate you so much in general. I'm glad to have you back here. Now, I don't, want to bore you too much, but again, today we are going to talk a little bit more regularly just about fragrances because I want to kind of keep that steam rolling. Tomorrow, I'm probably going to stream again in the morning and keep it more specifically back to life stuff. But again, any questions is wide open and everybody's welcome here. I literally just got this in the mail, which is interesting because I didn't expect that this was going to come. I had gotten have you tried Fakar by Latafa? It's my favorite. Well, first of all, Confused Fish Waffle. That's one of the absolute greatest possible names that I've ever seen. Confused Fish Waffle. If I ever start another band, I think I might end up using that as my band name, Confused Fish Waffle, if you allow me to do so, because that's pretty fun. Unless I don't know your channel, so you might be a big channel. So if so, I'm sorry. This just popped in my recommendations. Hello, Mugleon. Hopefully I said your name right. I'm sorry if I didn't, but thank you for being here. Use it. Hey, that'd be awesome. Prayers for your grandmother, Deanna. Thank you so much. Grace and peace. Absolutely. Thank you. Like, God bless each and every one of you guys watching this. Anybody who gives me prayers or just condolences for my grandma. I appreciate you guys so much. It is a cool name, Kelsey. You're absolutely correct. But yeah, I just got this Royal blend in, and like I said, I was surprised because it said that this was a canceled order. I ordered this off of Amazon. This is from French Avenue. If you guys don't know who French Avenue is the same company who makes the Vulcan series. French Avenue is also the same company that makes Coco Morado. They make Liquid Broom. So I saw people like Aromatics talking about this a lot. Just throwing this out there. If you guys ever watch my streams, I'm always kind of being against these sensational channels and TikTokers in the fragrance community who like to tell you guys that crap is really good, or they like to boost stuff. So Aromatics is a very popular TikToker and fragrance community person. I'm not bashing him at all, but he is another one of those people who I've seen hype up stuff like Vulcan Few and stuff like that. That's not as good as they say it is. Well, this was one of those fragrances that he said is for some strange reason a dupe of Hamra by Latafa, or it's like a similar DNA. You can definitely smell it, but he said this is much more longer lasting than that. Well, Hamra already lasts very well, so I haven't officially tried this, but I did just get it in, so we're going to see. And I'm pretty excited to test it out, but I don't really know why in the world a company that this is already like $30. So I'm not really sure why somebody would. Hold on real quick. Let me see. Bro, you have Park Avenue. I'm sorry, I have a question. How close is Liquid Broom to Altair? Thank you, Dan Man Games. Don't be sorry at all. Hopefully you're still here if my babbling didn't push you off. Also, before I answer that, yes, I do have Tobacco Vanille. So JK, if you have any questions about Tobacco Vanille, please feel free to ask. I'll tell you. But yeah, I have that bottle of that right now. I've got the 50 ml. And it's a pretty good fragrance, but very, very expensive. But as far as Liquid Broom in comparison to Altair, it is, honest to goodness, just like Vanilla Dunes. Vanilla Dunes by Amouage and Liquid Broom by Latafa, they're almost spot on. To be completely straight with you guys, they are basically one of the most perfect dupes I've ever smelled. And most of the time, I don't think dupes do a very good job being in comparison to the real thing. But I will tell you, they are perfectly spot on for the most part. Vanilla Dunes is a little bit more floral, like a little more white musk back note behind it, but it's still a perfect one-to-one almost. Liquid Broom, to me, is the better matchup for Altair, but it performs even better than Altair. So again, I normally don't support dupes over the original because a lot of times they're just not as good quality. There's something missing. But in the case of Altair versus Liquid Broom, you're definitely spending your money wisely, and it does, in fact, perform better than the original. So let me see real quick. Bro, do you feel your legs after live and standing for long? To be honest with you, it is, I love walking. I used to, when I first quit drinking and smoking, so again, to anybody who's new here, this past Sunday was my birthday, and it celebrated 7 years of becoming sober. No drugs, drinking, all that stuff. So I always talk about that kind of stuff. I like to bring that up to people, like promoting people taking care of themselves as best they can. So what I did after I quit drinking and smoking is I started walking every day. I know I don't look like it because after me and my wife got married a year and a half ago, we started eating pretty bad. But thank you for the congratulations, by the way. Thank you. By the way, yes, this is Royal Blend. If you got any questions, feel free to ask. But thank you for the congratulations. Thank you for the late birthday. I appreciate that, Yuvraj. And MF Craig Grants, hold on real quick. Let me try to keep up with these. Just to throw this out there. But yeah, so I stand up pretty well because I just used to walk a lot. So MFK perfumes, well, I have a handful of them. And I'm going to throw this out there. 2 of my favorite fragrances of all time. They're not my number ones. But if you was to ask me my legitimate top 10 favorite fragrances of all time, by the way, hello there, Paul. Thank you for being here. 2 of my favorite fragrances of all time are actually MFK, so Maison Francis Kirkjohn fragrances, and that would be Oud Silk Mood. I've got Baccarat Rouge, the Extrait de Parfum, but I've got the Eau de Parfum of Grand Soir, and I've got the Extrait de Parfum of Oud Silk Mood. And both of those are in my top 10. Oud Silk Mood is actually close to becoming my number 1 right now. I love it so much. They are very expensive, but to be completely honest with you guys, they perform like monsters. They're beautiful. It's hard for me normally to suggest expensive fragrances because a lot of them can be overhyped. Initio is one of those ones, like Side Effect is fantastic, but Oud for Greatness and all those are very overhyped for the price range personally. But MFK, I really do recommend them a lot. Eternal Oud is fantastic. Thank you guys again for the congrats. Grand Soir versus Baby Cat. I think Grand Soir, but that's just my personal opinion. This is why I'm being here. This is so bad. Thank you so much, Kelsey. Thank you, first of all, to everybody who's been saying congratulations. And thank you so much for just sharing your love. Or how do you define your love? I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that, but I will try to explain what I think you mean. I want to know, how can I afford the parfums when I'm a student? Need tips. Have you tried the new Camarade Ducant? So, Paul, I'm going to try to answer these in like reverse order. To Paul, I do in fact have Ducant down here, Hamra Ducant. I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out there. The opening notes, they've built a new layering of fragrance notes on the top of Ducant by Hamra. So actually, I'll grab that right now. I'll put the original back. I've got Kawa, I've got the original Hamra, and then I've got the new Ducant. I don't know how to pronounce it right, so I'm sorry. But I do got the new Ducant, and I just want you guys to know it's not worth it. The reason I say that, the opening notes of this is the only thing that they've done, like with the pimento and everything, the pimento berry, it's the only really thing that they've done to change this from the originals, is change the opening notes. But when you spray Ducant on, within roughly 30 minutes to an hour, it breaks down on your skin to pretty much the original Hamra completely. The only one that's unique enough to have over the others is Kawa, because it's different from opening and all the way through. Should I buy, let me see. And by the way, to Dan, to help you understand personally how to, can you give me some tips to be yeah, sure, I can help you out with that, buddy. I try my best to give you some advice on that here in just a second. But to give my buddy here, Dan, man, about some advice about like affording fragrances, that's a tough one, because if you're a student, to be real with you, first and foremost, I don't know if you have a job or not, but if you are just a student, that's going to be difficult, because I always try to tell people, be responsible. If you want fragrances, that's fine. Use discount websites like FragranceNet and Max Aroma. Again, I'm absolutely not sponsored, so I'm just doing my best to tell you guys my personal experiences. FragranceNet and Max Aroma, for the most part, are very trustworthy, so you can get good fragrances for a discount. But if you are a student and you don't have a lot of money to just throw away, please stick with cheaper level fragrances if you can. Buy samples or smaller bottles if you can. Like on FragranceNet, you can get these bad boys right here for like $25, $30, sometimes even cheaper. They give you the real thing. You can take it out, whatever. Bye till then. Oh, sorry, I didn't even read your message. Let me see what you said real quick, buddy. Got to get back to work. Hey, well, you know what? Thank you very much for all your love and support. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I'm grateful to Kelsey that you even was able to stop by, so I appreciate you so much. As far as asking... Hold on, I'm trying to keep up with everybody, but thank you so much for being here. As far as Memo Paris goes, I've actually personally never tried any of those, so I don't want to give comments. I will never give anybody my thoughts and opinions on fragrances that I have not smelled or given a shot to. Not only will I try to give my thoughts and opinions on fragrances that I haven't smelled, but if I have smelled them in a store, but I haven't tried them on skin, I'll never answer you guys about that, because I can't tell you how things work and perform. Just a fact, by the way, letting you guys know, if you ever do try fragrances at like Sephora or somewhere and you spray it on a test strip, please don't make your judgments about that fragrance based off of that. Being completely real with you guys, You're not going to experience how the chemist, the perfumer designed it, how it breaks down. Sometimes something can have a harsh opening, but turn into something incredible. For me personally, my wife and me absolutely love Versace Eros Flame, but I don't like the opening very much. Other people absolutely are crazy about it. But the way the sharpness of the blood orange for me personally is within the opening of like Eros Flame, I don't like it. But once it breaks down a little after the first sprays, after about 10 minutes or so, I love it. So do not judge fragrances the best you can off of smelling them off of a strip. Try them on skin first. Let me see. But yeah, thank you guys so much who stopped through. I appreciate you guys. If I miss your questions, by the way, if at any point in time the chats start really going and I miss any of you guys' questions, I have a couple of people who are normal viewers who are also good buddies and they are mods on my channel. They might join in at some point, but I don't communicate with them beforehand, so they might not be here. But if any of you guys at any point during the stream, if I miss your questions, please feel free to repost them. So let's get back through here. I'm going to try to keep up with some stuff. Confused Fish Waffle, big on the House of Latafa. They do make a lot of really good stuff. They're not my favorite or anything like that, but they do make some decent fragrances. To my buddy JK, no problem. Bro, is it true that every fragrance smells different on skin, on different skins? Real quick, just a quick side note. The way that chemists use these fragrance materials, especially the better quality of a perfumer, they make them designed a specific way to try to keep a lot in mind and how they break apart and break down. But with that being said, a quick summary, these fragrance materials that are used in here, depending on whether they're more synthetic, whether they're more like actual raw materials, either way, they react differently on different people's hormones, different skin types, different complexions, all that stuff, different skin diseases and things. Like I have eczema and illness. So it is true, fragrances will sometimes smell differently, but even so much as perform differently on different people. Some types of oud fragrances on my skin end up smelling like body odor, and it's not just the oud profile, it's also just me. Sometimes it smells kind of like stinky armpits, whereas that same fragrance on some of my coworkers or other friends smells absolutely beautiful. Sometimes it's the opposite. So it just depends on you, and that's why I really suggest, if you can, before you full on commit and buy an expensive fragrance, try it out on your skin if you can, because you don't want to feel like you wasted money. What about Le Beau Le Parfum? So just going ahead and throwing this out there. I have Le Beau Le Parfum behind my little silver play button. I'm not really going to move it out of the way right now, but if you want to see it, that's fine. My wife absolutely loves it. I love it. It's one of my favorite fragrances. The perfumer behind it did an incredible job doing that. I have the dupe of it, Hodlodge Island, which again is one of the rare dupes that I'll actually say did a great job, like coming close enough to it, and it also has good performance if you were going to go cheaper. But Le Beau Le Parfum is just cheap enough to me in comparison to niche perfumery that I would say save your money if you want to and get the original, unless you just want to burn through it. If you're not going to use it every day, get the original. It's very strong, long lasting. If you want to use it every day, especially during the summer, get Hodlodge Island because it's close enough. But Le Beau Le Parfum is fantastic. Doesn't smell cheap or crappy. Let me see if I'm keeping up with people well. I'm a student and I have a bit of money and I'm thinking about buying Latafa Mahir, the Sedley dupe. So Dan Man Games asking about the Sedley dupe, Latafa Mahir Legacy. I think it's Mahir Legacy. It might just be, I'm not sure. But I will tell you, it is nice. Latafa Mahir is a good fragrance. It doesn't perform as well as the original, but then again, the original as well. Especially due to reformulations and so forth. But also, Sedley to me is just not the best fragrance in the world. It's okay, but it's not the best fragrance ever in comparison to, like, I personally prefer Greenleaf, but neither of those are really my favorite because they're a little too fresh, but in more like a youthful way for my personal taste, but they're made well. But Mahir is a pretty good fragrance. So for the price, if you're a student and trying to save money, I'd say go for it. It's not bad. Bro, you know, Envy. I do not, unless you're talking about the thing itself. Let me see, make sure I'm not missing anybody here. Oh, I'm sorry. My buddy Rucker here asked me about Initio fragrances. Super in love with YSL's YEDT. Any higher quality fragrances out there or higher quality like fragrances? Sure, I'll get back to that in just a second. But I'm just throwing this out there. I guess I'll put these here right for now. So you asked me about Initios. So I've got Initio Side Effect. I have Oud for Greatness Neo, and Paragon. Those are the only Initios that I own, although I have at Saks Fifth Avenue tested basically the entire line, like Rose, Atomic Rose, Blessed Baraka, all that stuff. I think that Initio makes really good fragrances for what they are. I think the perfumer makes interesting enough takes on a niche-ish design type of fragrance. But I will say, and they also perform very well, like Initio Side Effect is a monster performer. Oud for Greatness performs pretty well. Neo Paragon is also a very good performer, but they are extremely expensive for what they are. I personally don't think they are unique enough to be as expensive as they are, but they do have that performance. It's just you can find other things that I think are a little bit better. Let me go through here. As far as like other high quality like fragrances like that, yeah, well, there's definitely plenty of them. If you like YSL's Y Eau de Toilette, I would definitely say something that's a little different. It's a little more fresh instead of that bright citrusy feel, is like, but still has citrus. Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue or Light Blue Eau Intense. The new Dolce & Gabbana Eau de Parfum just came out. This is the new formulation of Capri in Love. If you guys have ever seen this, it's like a nice Italian style fine china dish type of thing, but this is black pepper with, I believe, black pepper with fig and patchouli. Very nice. Good, decent enough performer. Sticks to the skin very well. Something that's a little bit more bright and fruity, candy-like, would be Eros Energy I got behind here, and then Eros Parfum. Good choices if you like that type of stuff. What do you think about Latafa Intense and French Avenue Spectre Wraith? I've personally not smelled any of those, Yanko. I have a friend who's got the Nadia, but I haven't smelled them myself, so I don't want to tell you, Yanko, any thoughts about them and not be able to give you a perfectly honest opinion about them, so I haven't smelled them. Interested in buying 1 million Parfum and Solar Tuberose Nuts. So actually, Fakar extract, just letting you know, is not that great to me. Again, I'm not trying to down all cheaper fragrances. As you can see, I've got a bunch here that I've either got reviews that I got to do, ones that I've tested and tried out. So I'm not against, obviously, all cheap fragrances, but I will say there's a lot of people who are hyping up the Latafa Fakar. I don't know how to pronounce that, so I'm doing my best, but there's a lot of people who keep hyping those up. And if you have them and you like them, that's totally fine. But for me personally, I don't really push for them. They're not my style. That's just me. So no offense to anybody who likes them. That's totally okay. But they're just not the best smell, not the best performers in the world compared to what they're copying after. But 1 million Parfum is really great. I also, even though it's a little bit more of a youthful smell, I have multiple bottles of 1 million Elixir. It's kind of like a apple-y rose type of feel, but I like it. It's just for me, but it's not something I wear very often. I can't believe they discontinued it. Yeah, I've heard of that. I've never smelled that either myself. Tolu Ichthys the Werewolf, never smelled that myself, but I'm sorry that they discontinued it, if they have. And again, by the way, just throwing this out there, if anybody continues to ask me questions, I'm going to try my best to keep up with them and get back to them. So if you see me miss your comment, please feel free to re-comment again. Watched videos about beast mode perfumes. Women can't find a good one around $50 to $150. So first of all, I'm going to answer again these in the order the best I can. So somebody said Killian's Black Phantom and Judge TG Paradise Garden. Black Phantom's really nice, but I prefer Paradise Garden. Black Phantom's a pretty decent performer though. Leighton Exclusive, I've got a bottle. Leighton Exclusive is pretty good, but I prefer the original Leighton. A lot of people like the Leighton Exclusive. I personally like the original. I think the original actually performs a little bit better to me, and it's got a little bit more brightness to it. But if you like more richer, earthy smokiness, Leighton Exclusive is a good thought. But just letting you guys know, for the price, you get a pretty decent amount for the price you pay for Parfums de Marly's, but they are not quite as good at performers as they used to be. But they still perform, better than like a lot of designer fragrances. Technically, they perform way better than a lot of like dupes and cheaper fragrances, but I still try to tell people be wary about spending your money unless you've tried them on your personal skin at like a Nordstrom or something. Forgive me. And then talking about a good budget beast mode perfumery and expensive for all seasons. Currently looking for expensive fragrance for all seasons. So I'll try to answer those again. If you want a expensive fragrance for all season, if that's what you just meant to say, I would say, honestly, this one is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. Naxos by Xerjoff. This is kind of really perfect for any time of year because this is like honey, tobacco with vanilla, and it smells like a really beautiful, but different than anything you've ever smelled. Truly like elegant and regal type of vanilla honey tobacco fragrance. And this is the type of scent where when you get your nose on it, you could see this being a beautiful summer day by the pool. You could see this being a beautiful spring morning walking throughout the woods or something like that. But at the same time, the way the honey goes with the vanilla and tobacco as well fits an awesome fall morning, something like that, or winter. It really doesn't matter. So for me, Ventus Absolute. So I've smelled a Ventus Absolute, haven't tried it on my skin, so I try not to give too many thoughts and opinions about that, but I don't think it's the best thing in the universe. Then again, like the Aventus DNA is not my favorite. That's just me personally. But too many people have copied it and bloated it out. It's like, I don't understand why people keep trying to copy it. And now with the Aventus Absolute, everybody in the universe is trying to do that as well. I know that I think Armuff, who I've got a few of theirs, who they do pretty decent. They've got Precious, I think is how you pronounce it. It's supposed to be a pretty good dupe of that. Again, I can't tell you if that's really true or not because I haven't tried it. But if you're interested in that, you could look into it. I believe as well, this Supremacy, Afnan Supremacy's Collector Edition, I'm pretty sure that this is supposed to be, from what I've seen, a take on it because it has that apple feel and stuff. This is supposed to be like a Creed Aventus Absolute type of deal. So, do I have BDK Grease or no extract? I do. Oh, I'm sorry, you're probably just asking about that. I don't personally have that, so that's another one that I haven't smelled. And again, I'm not going to give you guys opinions on stuff I haven't smelled. No disrespect. Oh, King Sword's back again. Super happy to have you here, buddy. And again, as people come through now, King Sword, who just joined the viewing here, he's a mod, so he's going to help me as well. Probably keep up with the chat and stuff. So continuing on with this, Andrew, what's up, buddy? Andrew Miller, welcome to be here. Thank you so much. I'm another Andrew as well for anybody who's joining and does not know. My channel is Douglas Moon Fragrance. That's because Douglas is my middle name, and me and my wife just really love the moon. It's like an inside thing from when we first got together. So that's but my real name is Andrew, in case anybody wants to call me that. It doesn't really matter. What's the name of the gold one in my hand? This one right here, Prince T. So this is this is actually my #1 favorite fragrance of all time. This is Naxos by Xerjoff. You might have heard of it. You might have seen this. Much respect from Paris. Oh, I didn't know are you like personally from Paris? And do you live in Paris, but you're from somewhere else, or are you originally from Paris? But either way, bonjour. One of my closest friends and a wonderful baker here in America, North Carolina, where I'm from. He's also from Paris, but his family's from Tunisia. Geranium pour Monsieur by Frederick Malle. Ooh, actually, thank you for bringing that up because I love floral fragrances. Anything tuberose, geranium, anything lily of the valley raw materials. Those are like some of my absolute favorite fragrance profiles. So thank you for bringing that up. I've not smelled that. I only have ever reviewed, which I just posted. If any of you guys like fragrances and you wouldn't mind supporting my channel in any kind of way as I'm trying to continue to grow, I have a good community going on here. I just yesterday posted a Frederick Malle, the Portrait of a Lady. I did a review of that. So if anybody wouldn't mind going and checking that out if they're done here. But Frederick Malle is a fantastic fragrance house. And so thank you for suggesting Geranium pour Monsieur. But thank you guys for being here so much. Should I buy anything from the house of Roja Parfum? I've never tried any Rojas myself. They are pretty expensive, to be honest with you. On par with PDM and MFK and all that stuff, but I've heard mixed reviews about their performance, and I am, in fact, a big sucker for like good performance. I also don't like suggesting things to people that don't have very good performance, just me personally. But North Carolina, you up early, man? I sure am. I'm up early every day. So me and my wife just moved an hour away from where we used to live, which means we work an hour and like 7 minutes from where we are now. But I like to drive her to work. But recently, for anybody who don't know, don't care, whatever, I like to keep a community where I'm honest with you guys. And like we talk about not just fragrances, but life as well. I like for you guys to get to know me. If you join my channel, I don't want you to be here just because you're here. I want you to be here because you also want to get to know me. And I want to get to know you guys, not just playing around or doing YouTube crap here. So with that being said, I'm off of work right now for the next couple of days because my grandma is currently in the process of passing away. She's in hospice. So I'm doing my streams right now just because I got some time, but I took my wife to work this morning. So that's the end of the story. With that being said, we're up early every single day. So on Wednesdays is when I normally do my live streams and we do this kind of spiel. And I normally start that around like 6 a.m., something like that, between 6 and like 9 a.m., something along those lines. But today, definitely got to go on. But let's see here. Should I borrow anything from Roja? I only have 2, Most Wanted and Tarathi. I'm curious if you like Andrew Tarathi Blue. I've heard multiple things about that. Currently in Paris as we speak, born and raised here. Well, hey, it's fantastic to have you here. Me and my wife have like wanted to learn different languages for a long time, but at the end of the day, we've had a hard time sticking to it because of a lot of life stuff going on. I studied Mandarin for like 6 months. Haven't done it in a while, completely forgot, but I can still understand like when people speak basic stuff. We studied Nihongo, Japanese for a while, Deutsch, we studied German for a while. Tried to do French, but I'm going to be honest with you, to me, ironically, even though everybody says French is easy, I actually have had a harder time trying to get into studying French properly compared to Japanese and German. I don't know what it is, but French is not the easiest thing in the world to comprehend and to learn. But I'm very happy to have you here, buddy. Portrait of a Lady was inspired by GPM, both done by Rompion. Well, hey, that's really awesome to know. I like Portrait of a Lady. Now, I will say, some of my favorite, like one of my favorite notes and fragrances ever. People who've been here before already know this, but otherwise, if you don't, welcome. I love rose. My wife has been working with flowers in two different professional ways for as long as I've known her. And so for me, even though it's funny, she works with flowers, and because of that, she doesn't really like floral scented things too much, or she thinks of me now because of that. But I love rose scented things because it makes me think of her. With that being said, I love floral things. So Portrait of a Lady is fantastic, but it isn't quite my type of floral fragrance. I actually like things a little bit more pure rose, pure smoky rose. So anything from Rose Incense by Amouage to Rose is Greedy by Mancera are fantastic. So I do like Portrait of a Lady, but it's a little too jammy for me. But thank you guys for being here. Have a good day, man. Seem like a cool guy. I appreciate you, Wizzle, for being here. I hope you have a great day, too. You're welcome here anytime. Hopefully you're able to hear me say that. I speak Pennsylvania Dutch. I've heard of that before. I don't really know, what that sounds like, but it probably just sounds very similar, just Dutch in general, but with a variation. But I've heard of people speak that. My wife is originally from PA. She's from a place called Butler. I don't know if you guys know what that is, near Pittsburgh. But with that being said, I smelled a sample of Bond number 9, Lafayette Street. Didn't like it at first. I'm starting to really like it. You know what? I'm going to have to check that out. There's a store that I go to that I'm going to go to today that has Bond number 9 and a handful of fragrances from that house. And I haven't smelled any of them, but I want to. Let me make this very clear. Don't forget to like the video. Oh, yeah. Thank you for saying that, King Sword. Like, if anybody checks this out and you do enjoy what you're seeing, if you like talking and having communication, just please, if you can, it helps out. I don't like grifting. That's not really not the right word. I don't like trying to push people to do the YouTuber crap. But if you guys do enjoy listening to me talk and you'd like to learn more about fragrances, or if you learn anything from me, if you can, hit the like button, share, whatever, comment, check stuff out. It just helps a lot. You were born in PA. I don't know, what part of PA were you born from? Like I said, my wife is originally from the Butler area, and I've never been up there myself, but we plan to go at some point. But I don't hear the best things in the world about Pennsylvania, but then again, I'm in North Carolina. There's plenty to say about this as well. But is there a strong fragrance from Tom Ford? I heard their fragrances are weak. Thank you for asking that. Here's the deal, okay? There are Tom Ford. I'm always going to, by the way, if you guys drop through here, I always tell you guys I shoot it straight. I'm not sponsored by anyone. I'm not going to sit here and bullcrap you for the sake of anything, because nobody's paying me nothing to do it. But Tom Ford fragrances, they've got some good fragrances that are long-lasting and powerful. But with that being said, they as well, Tom Ford is owned by, I believe, Estee Lauder. If you don't know who that is, they are a big company in the beauty and fragrance and fashion world. They own a lot of companies. And with that being said, those guys like to, when they purchase a company, reformulate the fragrances that they have, and they become weaker for cheaper prices. They try to jack the prices up they sell them for, but the materials can become lesser quality and they perform at lesser concentrations. So with that being said, Tom Ford are known to not perform nearly as good as they used to, but there are still some that do well just because of its makeup, the way the perfumers made it up. So as I could tell you that, if you get one of my favorite fragrances of all time, Ombre Leather, or Ombre Leather Parfum, which I have right here. This actually performs very well. Good sillage. I'd say on a scale of 0 to 10, the sillage for this throughout the course of a day, you're looking at probably somewhere around, I guess I would tell you probably about a 5, which is pretty high in the grand scheme of things for like a long-term process of an 8 to 10 hour day. But as far as performance goes, you're looking at 12 hours or so on the skin if you don't like sweat too much. If you do sweat, you're looking at a solid 8 to maybe like 6 to 8. But for me, that in of itself is pretty decent longevity. But that's for something like this, which is the cheaper one. Anytime you see these normal bottles like Oud Mineral, the Ombre Leather series, and as well, Tom Ford's Noir Extreme, very good performer, although I've heard that they've reformulated this very recently and it doesn't perform nearly as good as it used to. But still, this is a good fragrance right here. But I will tell you guys, some of the newer formulations of some of their fragrances, like this one, Oud Wood by Tom Ford, in comparison, hold on, other fragrances, I'll tell you that in just a second, buddy. So some things in comparison to like Oud Wood here does not perform, smells fantastic as always, but does not perform nearly as good as it has in the past. Then again, though, even though this is outrageously priced for plastic packaging, this is Black Lacquer. I absolutely love this fragrance, but I'll never recommend this to anyone unless you're wealthy and you can spend the money. because it doesn't perform nearly, like it performs fantastic, but this is like $400, $300 to $400 for this little guy. So even though it performs well, it's still just not something that you want to throw your money away from. Let me see. Is there strong fragrances? But there are still some that are pretty decent. Other fragrances like PDM Hautane. Well, I want to ask you this before I answer that question. Are you asking me about other PDM Hautane oriented style fragrances that any price range, it doesn't matter? Or are you asking me that because you want to know if there's ones that are cheaper? So thank you for being here, Dylan, or Drail. I don't know which one you'd rather me call you. But I would win in a fight. Huh? Who would win in a fight, a grill or 100 men? Oh, a gorilla. Obviously the 100 men. No, I'm just kidding. Probably the gorilla would tear them apart. Any price range? With that being said, I think if that's the case, well, the first go-to people typically compare it to is going to be Oud for Greatness. That's like, I literally did a review video. If you guys want to go back and check it out, I did a review video recently comparing Oud for Greatness versus Hautane. And then there's also Oud for Greatness Neo. But I will say, if you actually like Oud, so Dylan, if you could let me know, I don't know how much your depth of enjoyment of Oud goes, but if you do like Oud, oh my goodness gracious. Actually, let me compare this in real time right now that I got you guys here, because I've never smelled these two side by side at once. You know what? Yeah, if you don't mind something that's a little bit more dense on the Oud, but still has a beautiful sweetness to it, this right here, hold on real quick. You like Oud? Sorry, I left the stream yesterday. I had class. You should come in. Hey, no, it's no problem at all. You don't have to be sorry about that whatsoever, buddy. Anybody's always welcome here. And if you can't stay, please, by all means, go do whatever y'all got to do. Come back through if you can, if you get the chance. That's fine with me. You know, I just appreciate you guys stopping by whenever you get a chance. It don't mean nothing. So I love you guys. I appreciate anybody who's willing to be here. Like I said, even though, you know, we talk about the fragrances and we get into this, but real quick, I will say to finish my buddy Dylan here, before I get too distracted. This is Silver Oud by Amouage. This is a pretty decent sized bottle, but if you want like a powerful, regal, very royal Oud scented fragrance that's similar to Hautane, if you like that Oud, and this isn't very like stinky Oud necessarily speaking, but if you want a fragrance that will stick to you like super glue and almost never come off of your skin, let alone your clothes, but especially your skin, I would recommend to anybody any day of the week. This is good Middle Eastern perfumery from Amman. So Amouage is one of my absolute favorite fragrant houses. But if you like Hautane by Parfums de Marly and you want to have a little bit more of a wealthier smell that sticks and performs way better than Hautane, 100% Amouage's Silver Oud, fantastic choice. The only thing I don't like about this, and certain, well, I'm not going to explain that. I was going to tell you guys because I don't know how much you guys nerd out on materials and actual, like, if you guys just want to think about perfumery as a scent and like the art of wearing it, or if you guys actually care about more of the depths about the overall makeup of these things. But there are ingredients in some of these fragrances, not unhealthy or anything like that, but just are not necessarily the most ecologically friendly. But this is definitely a way better performer than stuff like Hautane and all that business. With that being said, I just want you guys to know, I'm going to come right back. I'm going to stream for a while longer. Silver Oud is a beast. Yes, it is. It's an absolute monster. Just ordered Torino 21. It's arriving tomorrow. It is great if you have it. Yes, it is. Matthew, thank you for saying that. I've got Torino 21, 22, and 23. I absolutely love these guys. 23 is my favorite. I haven't smelled 24 yet. But Torino 23 by Xerjoff is my absolute favorite of the Torino series so far. I might change my mind when I smell 24. But I will say, 21, ironically, is my least favorite of all of these guys, but it is still an incredible fragrance, and I hope that you love it when you get it. Can you please recommend me a signature scent? Absolutely. Something you can wear all seasons. Let me ask you this real quick, buddy, because I cannot remember. I know you got class and stuff. So to my buddy N.E. Andy, I think that's how you say it. If you really want to know, I will say this. Do you have a price range? So before I suggest for you a signature scent, I really got to know, what's your price range? And that's important for multiple reasons. I need to know if it's okay for you to just spend kind of whatever, but also if you're going to wear it on a regular basis. I need to know, because I can recommend you something pricier, but you won't need to wear as much of it, so it won't really matter. But then again, I can recommend for you, depending on your taste, all kinds of stuff. I can recommend you something cheap, but again, you might burn through it. So it really just depends. So if you could tell me real fast before I answer you, do you got a little bit to work with here so I can give you a good opinion? Just letting you guys know, I'm going to be right back in literally less than a full minute, hopefully. But should I get Alexandria too? I'm going to use the bathroom real quick, just letting you guys know, but you don't have to go anywhere. If you do, that's fine. I'm literally going to be gone for like a minute. So I appreciate you guys. But real quick, I'll answer this from JK. Xerjoff, should I get Alexandria 2, 49th, or Torino 21? Me personally, don't get Alexandria 2. I love Alexandria 2, but it's a hard one to suggest to people who've not got any experience with that scent profile. So, and it's very expensive. I say get 40 knots. Actually, let me change that. 40 knots is one of my favorite fragrances of all time, but I don't know if you'll like the profile. It's fantastic, but it's very sea salty, all that stuff, very marine-like. 40 knots I would recommend getting, but if you want something very safe, Torino 21, because it's bright, citrusy. Chanel Allure Sport or Extreme is a great signature. It absolutely is, but before I give my personal thoughts on a good signature scent to my buddy here, I just want to know what price range you're working with, if that's okay. Thinking about picking up Angel Share or Greenlee, don't know which is the best. Go ahead and get Angel Share. Performance is an absolute monster, okay? But Greenlee doesn't perform nearly as well. Similar price range. You don't get as much for the price, I think, obviously, with Angel Share, but it is an absolute monster performer. But like I said, I will be right back to answer you guys' questions some more. Feel free to look at my collection and to think up some questions for me. I'll just be right back. I got to use the bathroom real quick. All right. Nice and refreshed. Back with you guys. Sorry, like I said, had to run to the bathroom real quick. Hopefully I'm not making too much crazy noise for you guys, but yeah, sorry about that. Had to take a little pit stop. Let's see. You guys got any questions going for me here? Please recommend a signature scent. Really can't find something right for my seasons. All right, real quick, I'll just answer my buddy. Give how long to build this collection right now. Only niches, USADA, Ambassador. All right. So with that, is he now reading TikTok comments? No, I'm not reading any TikTok comments, but with that being said, good signature scent, Bleu de Chanel Parfum, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Intense, Oh Intense, Stronger With You, Intensely, absolutely, or the new Parfum, which I absolutely love. Lots of really good choices for a signature scent for somebody. If you're looking for something a little bit cheaper, but still fantastic, I recommend getting Liquid Broom, which is an Altair dupe, but this is actually a great performer. It's only like $30. So if you want me to go through those again slowly, I can, but there's a lot of good choices for a signature scent. But if you want to go through something classy, again, Jean-Paul Gaultier's La Mel Elixir, fantastic. La Mel Le Parfum is absolutely amazing. I really love it. Well, if you love La Mel Le Parfum, perfect signature scent. But to me, honestly, like I said, I love the scent better than the La Mel Elixir, but I prefer La Mel Elixir's performance for me. Although 60% of the time, it works every time. Sure, I don't know what that is, but I will take that. Or I don't know what you're referencing that to. Best Xerjoff I meant. Let me see. Hey, what's your saying on JPG La Mel Le Parfum and budget one like Latafa Hamra? So I love La Mel Le Parfum. Fantastic. As far as like a budget one like Hamra, that's a toughie. Something that's like it. Again, Liquid Broom's a fantastic choice. I just got this in, by the way. French Avenue's Sable, the Vulcan Sable. Just letting you guys know, in comparison to the new, I've got the French Avenue. I've talked about this a handful of times, the Vulcan Few, or however you say it. This performs so much better than this one, but I just got these in the other day, and to be honest with you, it's not something I can suggest. Sorry, there's a lot of comments there. I'm just trying to keep up with what's going on there. How long did it take you to build this collection? So I would say, and let me see what you said about Xerjoffs real quick. And what's the next Xerjoff for people new to niche? So I guess I would definitely say, And depending on what you got, 40 knots obviously is a fantastic one. By the way, if you've got the money for it, and it's not too bad, especially on discounter sites, if you want a really good summer scent and you want something that's in that citrus realm, but a little more true to the core of like a good lemon, orange, lime peel, or like a good bergamot peel, highly recommend. And I don't see a lot of people talk about this, but they should. Renaissance by Xerjoff is an absolute fantastic, fantastic choice. BDC Parfum in the summer, though, absolutely. Bleu de Chanel Parfum is a really good fall winter fragrance, especially kind of because of the cedar and sandalwood blend, a little bit more distinctly wintertime. A lot of times fragrances could be more distinctly fall, but this one is very much so a good wintertime fragrance. But for me personally, the sandalwood vibe going on underneath it really kind of flows beautifully with like a nice day at the beach. Not so much by the lake, but a good day at the beach. So for me, Bleu de Chanel Parfum was like an easy choice today. But yeah, all these guys are fantastic. So yeah, sorry, like I said, there's been handfuls of comments coming through, so it's been a little tough sometimes to keep up with everything as they come. But I appreciate you guys so much for being here. But yeah, like I said, just got these bad boys in recently, and I hate to beat a dead horse to anybody who's already come through, who's already seen me talk about this the other day for any of my chats. But I just want to say, please, for the love of God, stop buying overhyped fragrances if you can do so. Please stop letting TikTokers and so forth, like, even though I'm giving you my thoughts about fragrances, so it might seem like I'm telling you don't listen to me or trust me about anything that I say, I really want you to understand that people are pushing on you guys all these fragrances and stuff because they're getting sent them for free. And then somebody like me goes, well, let me do my review. And I spend the actual money because I'm not getting sent these for free, or any of these guys. By the way, real quick, just a side note, if anybody who asked how long it took to build this collection, for me, it took like 2 months because we sold our house and I had the money I already had this channel going, and we had, like, my wife and me talked about it, and she let me take some money out of the house selling to start building this up so I could actually continue to really chase after this. With that being said, if anybody likes to discuss fragrances with me and is interested in giving some support, please feel free to do so, because I'm honestly trying to continue this going, especially as you see, I got my silver play button here. But anyway, getting back to it and being more specific. Yeah, you see these guys hyping up a lot of these fragrances and stuff, and I just want you to know, please stop, because it's just as bad to convince people to buy one very expensive fragrance because you're sponsored as it is to tell people to buy buttloads, right? It's really not okay to tell people every single one of these cheap fragrances that are $30 to $50 a piece are fantastic. You got to go get it now, because there are a lot of people watching these fragrance reviews who have like a buying problem, right? So again, I'm sorry for derailing. If you don't want to hear me talk about this, that's okay. Go watch somebody else's stream. That's fine. But I really care about you guys. Even if we never talk, if you never comment on one of my streams or videos, whatever. But I care about you guys, and I care about you guys spending your money. So if you're going to buy a fragrance, that's why I started doing this channel, is because I know of 2, maybe 3 fragrance people in the community online who I feel like I can really trust what they say, okay, about fragrances, and make me think, okay, maybe I should be able to buy that and count that it's going to do well. But I saw so many fragrance creators who are telling all these lies about stuff when I personally would go try them out, and I was like, this is crap. And I saw so many people on Reddit and stuff spending their money like left and right because it becomes an addiction for people. I only have all these fragrances because I do reviews. I only have all these fragrances because I have a channel, as you can see, like I do this. But there are too many people out there who love perfumery, but they also like get very easily convinced into impulse buying. And I don't want you guys doing that. So when I get these fragrances like this, I want to tell you guys the straight up truth. Some of them are just they're not worth it. So Vulcan Few just came out. This is like $50 if you can even get your hand on it, like $55. Now for a freaking clone or like a cheap fragrance, that's a lot of money for this not to perform the way I keep seeing creators say it does. This bad boy gives you a whopping like 3 hours, if that, of decent actual performance. Okay. And then it just stays super close to the skin for like another for a total of like 6 hours or so. And this is a real bottle. I got this from the actual official website of the detailer. Okay. So while they still had some left. And for people to spend $50 on a fragrance like this, when there's other like way better, more true mango fragrances, like I got Herba Pura, Herba Gold by Xerjoff. When you're going to spend that much money, I want it to be something that's actually worth having. So I have 30 fragrances. When I get a new fragrance, I switch it for in the rotation, give the leftover to my nephews. Now, see, somebody doing something like that, I really respect that. If people are like buying fragrances and then giving them away as a gift, I like to do that a lot. I don't give away fragrances on the internet because I'm just too lazy to do shipping and stuff like that. Maybe one day I'll have somebody handle that for me if I get to that point. But I definitely recommend, like, unless you're going to give stuff away and you can spend so responsibly. So sorry for going on that rant. Well, I guess I'm not because it's my channel. But when I'm telling you guys, I really do care about you guys' wallets. So I'm not here to sell you crap. So if you ever ask me about fragrances, I'm going to tell you the truth. If that means that nobody's ever going to sponsor me, fine, I don't care. If that means that nobody's ever going to send me free stuff, I don't care. That's not why I'm here. I got really sick of seeing people gas up fragrances that I personally tried out and were like, this isn't that great. You're convincing people to spend money. So again, I'm not a freaking hero. So please don't think I think highly of myself. I just care about fragrances, and I know you guys do too. So I'm just letting that be a warning. If you stop by my channel, don't expect me to like tell you some crap about something to make you go spend your money, because it'd be a waste of time. So I'm only going to suggest you buy, if I even do that, something that's like going to be really good for you overall. So with that being said, this bad boy right here, I really do love this. This is an interesting take on a good summer fragrance. This is like really, truly, sometimes there's fragrances that are like citrus lemon leaning, where people kind of refer to it as like lemon cleaner. So I've seen people talk about Armagh Club de Nuit, like Intense, or certain fragrances like that, and say, this lemon in here makes me think of like Lemon Pledge or something, but not like in necessarily a bad way. But this one is very interesting. I like reading a lot of Xerjoff's like marketing on their website, because a lot of the times there's like a real feel that comes from it that makes you think about the scent profile itself. We have to remember, perfumery is an art, and its whole goal is to make you feel something. I know when we break it all down to it, a lot of people's concept of perfumery and colognes is that this is just to smell good, but it isn't just to smell good. Fragrances and perfumery are much more than that. These are meant for you like as an art, since all throughout history in the Middle East, in India, where perfumery started to originate, and in early Europe and things along those lines, in Africa, this was meant for celebration, for religious and spiritual ceremonies, and then also, most importantly, for people to connect and make memories and to express themselves. And so that's what fragrances really are for. So when I say that to you guys, I love reading good marketing. So there's some marketing for fragrances is just a bunch of crap. But when I read Xerjoff's and certain like Amouage marketing, it actually really is nice. And I was reading through the one about Renaissance. If you don't know, Xerjoff is an Italian company, and they like to celebrate their Italian heritage a lot. They are based in Italy. And this fragrance in particular is a part of the same series that Xerjoff and Naxos is a part of. But the way the marketing was talking about how this was supposed to honor like true Italian heritage, it's cool because I'm not Italian. My wife is. Like, her dad's parents were literally from Italy. And it's pretty interesting. I wish I could meet them. They passed on, unfortunately, but I wish that I could like give this to them and see, like, does this make you really feel anything? Because this is a very beautiful, like true lemon bergamot. Like, you can feel like if you just peeled a lemon and you smelling like the peel and like a bergamot, if you like peel open like an orange and lemon together and you must to smell them, you get that real true like lemon oil scent. But there's like more to it than that. There's so much more musky lemon depth, and it has a good longevity, good power. But at the same time, it's just, I don't see a lot of people talk about this. So if you want like a really good summer fragrance, I think that if you've got the money and you can do so responsibly, Renaissance by Xerjoff is a fantastic choice. I love it. Actually, you know what? It'll kind of alter the mood in this room right now, but it will give a little bit of like a brightness that'll make me happy. Yeah, like I said, there's just something very antique about this. That's what I love about like craft perfumery. I like to honor my cologne by spraying it in my mouth. Well, you know what, Mudkip? Is that Mudkip like the Pokemon? I'm guessing it. Obviously, it has to be. It's funny that you say that, because I just sprayed this in the air and I walked through to read your comment real quick and breathed it in. And as much as I love the smell of this, it tastes absolutely disgusting. So I'm going to be dealing with this for God knows how long, but now my tongue feels like I want to rip it out of my mouth. I feel like I just drank lemon bleach or something like that. But I really like you saying that. That's a very funny comment. But Mudkip Sierra, it's a fantastic choice. Tom Ford Neroli Portofino is another Italian smell. It really is. I didn't like Neroli Portofino when I first smelled it. I'm not sure what it is about that, but when I very first smelled Tom Ford's Neroli Portofino, before I actually gave it a chance, I only sprayed it on a test strip, just like I did a Soleil Blanc. I did the same thing. I sprayed it on a test strip, gave it a whiff, and I was like, this is a little too generic for me. But when I went back and put both of them on my skin and actually gave them a chance like weeks later, I actually came to realize, like, wow, these are pretty nice. So if you guys ever like want to smell something that's a little bit more classic, but I will say in comparison, the price though, that's really where you're going to get a big hang up. Neroli Portofino is a fantastic choice of a fragrance, but it's definitely one of those private batch or whatever they're called, special reserve line of the Tom Ford. So they're a lot more expensive overall, if you want to think about it that way. In comparison to, like, I think on discounters, I'm almost positive you can get Renaissance by Xerjoff or something like that for like, I think it's like 150, something like that, 120 for 100 mil. Not too bad in comparison, because them Tom Fords are like really up there. I was looking at the new cherry smoke or something. I'm not sure what it's called. There's a new cherry fragrance by Tom Ford. I got Lost Cherry. I don't really like electric cherry, but I smelled the new cherry fragrance that they have the other day, and I was like, this is just not really my style. They also got a new rose fragrance that's pretty okay, but it's still not my favorite. But yeah, as you guys come through here, as you take the time to look at my collection, like I said, please, I'm not going to be doing this stream for a whole lot longer than I normally do. Tomorrow, 100%. By the way, King Sword, thank you so much for being here. You told me yesterday, by the way, just throwing this out there, guys, I don't just talk about fragrances. I talk about life, God, and so much more, and everybody's welcome here to my channel. Yesterday, my buddy here, King Sword, brought up the fact that you are, I believe it was you who said you are a Catholic. If you ever get the chance, if you use Instagram or anything like that, please find me, because I'd love to talk to you about that, if that's okay with you. So, and anybody who ever sees my channel, my streams, my videos, or whatever, if you guys ever want to find me on Instagram, it's the same name as this channel, Douglas Moon Fragrance. I don't use it as much. I just don't, to be honest with you. I only really get on here, and other than that, I don't really care about social media. But you're more than welcome, guys, to find me there, and we can chat it up, send me messages and stuff, and I'll try to get back to them as soon as I can. But I will tell you guys this. This one's been really speaking to me a lot lately, too. This is from that same line that Naxos is a part of. This is the old Zephyro. Hold on, wait. Yep. We heard the toilet flush. Deanna, you heard the toilet flush? Listen here. Okay. I want you to know, I actually thought the other day about taking this with me, because even though I try not to be too funny when I do these streams very much, comedy is one of my favorite things in the entire world. I know you guys who've never seen me really be funny probably wouldn't know that, but I have a really ridiculous and childish sense of humor, and I actually thought it might be funny to just take the microphone with me and make you guys have to hear me pee. But I'm not going to do that, because I don't want that to be my little reputation as the guy who pees on live streams or whatever. But with that being said, you never know, I might do it. But anyway, yeah, definitely if you guys ever want to like message me and like actually like communicate, I'm not always going to be available, especially right now with the family stuff going on, but you're more than welcome to hit me up on Instagram or something like that. But yeah, this bad boy right here has been speaking to me a lot lately. This is Zephyro by Xerjoff, and I actually don't remember what the notes of this are, because when I smell this, it's kind of difficult to explain what this makes me think of. It has like I don't know, it almost has what I want to say is a licorice type of feel, but it's not a licorice type of feel. I know that that's not what's in it, but it gives me that type of feel. So give me just a second, you guys, and you're more than welcome, like while I'm looking this up, to take the time to leave me, again, look at my collection, think about whatever you want to ask me. What's my thoughts on Burberry Touch? By the way, thank you for being here, Deanna. I appreciate you. There's two Deannas back to back. Deanna Wilkins Aiken. That is a very rare situation. I hardly know any Deannas in real life, so to have two Deannas here back to back, that's really interesting. Unless that's you on two accounts. I don't know. But what are my thoughts on Burberry Touch? I think it's pretty nice. I only personally own one Burberry fragrance, so the ones that I've smelled like Burberry Touch was just me trying them out at the store. Now, I did try it out on skin, but I will say I actually think it's a pretty nice fragrance. It's not my favorite. It's not anywhere close to my favorite for me on personal tastes, but I think that for anybody who gets it, it could be a pretty decent everyday fragrance to have. But now that I'm looking this up, because I really wanted to remember what Zephyro is, it says that elemi resin. So, okay, that's what's giving this that woodsy feel, elemi resin. And by the way, I'm not going to try. My wife told me the other day when she was rewatching some of my reviews that when I as well discuss certain fragrance notes and profiles, she asked me if I think that I should like break down further what these notes smell like to you guys, because now that I think about it, if I was to tell you like this right here, if I said this smells like Artemisia or bergamot or like cardamom or carnation and iris, if I told you guys that, does that mean anything to you? Would you understand what that smells like if I say that? And I told her, I don't really know. Like if explaining to you guys deeper what some of these note profiles smell like, it'd be difficult. but hopefully you get an idea, because I don't want to, like, in my real review videos, take too long to break it down. But definitely I was curious about this because it does have that resin scent with the white wine. That's a very interesting note to add to this. I love bergamot too. Deanna, like, bergamot's one of my absolute favorite things. They put bergamot in so many fragrances. It's interesting to me that to this day they're able to actually make them still smell distinct. I don't know if you guys get what I mean by that, but it's crazy to think that so many fragrances, for instance, here on my personal wall, not necessarily in the dupes. I've noticed that in the clone world, in the dupe world, they actually don't use in some of these like bergamot very much. It is extremely popular though. But it's crazy to me that perfumers are so, I guess what bothers me about clone fragrances, dupe fragrances, I think what gets to me, I understand the appeal for perfumery, right? I get that it is a very distinct smell. If you guys want to ever make Earl Grey tea, excuse me, bergamot's the main thing that they used in the rind to make Earl Grey tea, distinct from something like English breakfast. So I don't know if you guys like that or not, but for me, that's one of my first exposures ever to the scent of bergamot is when I was younger. I was very into British culture. When my mom first told me that I have British ancestry, like literally there was like a great grandparent on my mom's side, 2 great grandparents or so from Ireland. And then on the other side, like literally great grandparents that she could remember who were from somewhere in the South, like Liverpool or something like that. And to me, it was very interesting to me to like get into British culture when I was a child. And so like drinking Earl Grey and things like that was just something I thought I could do to be fancy. It'd be a little fancy, wannabe British boy. And I watched a lot of British television. Well, anyway, that's just a bunch of side note crap. Sorry, ADD, whatever, mind going everywhere. But when I would drink Earl Grey tea, I just remember when I got into perfumery more as an adult, and I would smell bergamot and things, I could really recognize it. At my job, we have concentrated bergamot, and I actually have some for when me and my wife make candles. Like I've got the real actual oil, like concentrated from the rind, and it smells so beautiful. And you can always, if you get used to the real thing, you can pick it out when you smell it in fragrances. But it's interesting because I didn't think about this until we're talking about it right now. But bergamot is so prevalent in like regular perfumery, like actual like designer and niche. But when I actually think about the note profiles for a lot of dupes, it's funny that a lot of the most popular dupe fragrances and clone fragrances tend to be going after savory gourmands or sometimes woodsy and then gourmands, so like cardamom, cinnamon, things like that. A lot of times the most popular dupes that you see, I think it's because they're easier to kind of mix with like spices than it is to manipulate and reconstruct for a cheaper price things that are typically better, more expensive materials to work with. The smells hard for me to distinguish are certain spices like coriander, sage, and salvia and stuff like that. Absolutely great. Thanks for the info. Anytime, Deanna. Like I love giving you guys as much information as I possibly can, because again, that's the only way that we can really connect. And again, I'm not an actual like educated professional, so I don't have a degree or anything. I just study everything I do on my own. But whenever I get information about stuff like this, I do the best I can to share it with you guys and do what I can to be as open and honest and help you guys learn, as I'm also constantly learning every day. But you're right. It can be difficult to distinguish when you're smelling fragrances because cinnamon is probably one of the sharpest things that comes out. Cardamom as well can be pretty easy to notice, especially, I would honestly say a really good fragrance to get your nose on if you're very first trying to get used to smelling cardamom and something would probably 100% be, where is it? Sauvage Elixir. If you're trying to get exposed to certain things like that, that's a really good fragrance to get your nose on so you can start experiencing things like cardamom. But as far as like, I would say going after like Black Iris, for instance, Black Iris, which is Amouage's interlude, and the regular Amouage interlude, pretty good fragrances to go for, to smell pimento berry, to smell oregano, to smell different spices like basil. They show up in really good niche perfumery, and those are the ones that can be a little harder to distinct. Mega Man, what's your top 3 PDM? My top 3 Parfums de Marly's, my top 3 Parfums de Marly's is going to have to be, I thought about this, you know what? Somebody asked me yesterday what my top 3 Parfums de Marly's was. It's funny because when I see that you just commented that, I almost thought it was you. But I think that after going back over it in my head, my top 3 Parfums de Marly's are going to have to be, where's the other one? These bad boys right here. So Pegasus, and then Carlisle and Herod. These are probably my top 3 Parfums de Marly's. I originally had Percival and Leighton up this high, but after I gave it a little bit more consideration, I realized that at the end of the day, I love the notes in these. Herod is one of the greatest Parfums de Marly's that I've ever smelled. It definitely, I think, is my #1 favorite, but it's kind of tied with both Pegasus. So if somebody was to say to me, pick 3 Parfums de Marly's to have for the rest of your life, you can't have any more. Yeah, what's up, RIP? Super happy to have you back here, buddy. Really appreciate you taking the time to join the stream. I've been doing this for a little while, not going to do it for a whole lot longer, although I say that all the time. Me doing live streams is very similar to the way preachers are with their sermons. I say that I'm about to end it, and then somehow or another, I go back down another rabbit hole. All it really takes is you guys to ask me like one question, and then I'm done for. And then here we are again. But with that being said, you asked me about my 3 favorite Parfums de Marly's. Gonna have to go with this. I find Pegasus hard to connect with. So here's the reason behind that, right? Because things used in this, I can't remember the other profile, but I do know that things like Hedion is used in Pegasus. So what it is that's hard for a lot of people to connect with this is the same thing that, like, I personally love Lost Cherry by Tom Ford. I did a full review video for that not long ago, and I also did like a fragrance of the day short for that because I like Lost Cherry. It's the only cherry fragrance by Tom Ford that I actually like. But for me personally, I like the notes that have a cherry almond feel, cherry pistachio feel. So as a person who, in general, I love nuts in real life, like pistachio, and somebody's probably going to clip that if they could do so. Pistachio and almonds, even though the scent profiles for those that they use in fragrances and in like in cakes and stuff from the oils with sugar to them don't really smell like they taste when you eat them raw, obviously. But in fragrances, they like to use things that have like a sweetened, yeah, I know. Yeah, that's very funny. In fragrances and perfumery, there's going to be like sometimes a bitter almond scent, but as well, more often than not, if there is a nut profile, again, very funny, for anybody who wants to chuckle, they use a sweetened almond or sweetened pistachio feel. So what you actually get a lot of out of Pegasus from Parfums de Marly is those chemicals put together to give you like a very sweet almond cake. I don't know if you guys have ever had like baklava, but in all honesty, that's probably, now that it's coming to me, if you guys have ever had baklava before, by the way, forgive me if you see me lick my lips like a strange lizard. I get very dry lips, especially the longer I've been doing this. But if you guys have ever had like pistachio baklava before, or anything along those lines, then you might know what I mean by that sweetened pistachio or sweetened almond type of flavor profile. It's used a lot in like Turkish, Middle Eastern type of dishes and stuff, or desserts. That same feel that you get, that same, because again, you guys got to remember, taste is very connected with scent. So the same type of profile that you get from smell or from taste is what you get when you smell something like this. And I personally really, really love that. So baklava is so nutty. It truly is. Baklava is fantastic. And when you smell Parfums de Marly Pegasus, if you think about the profiles they were going for, that sweetened almond feel is really what you get out of this. And it's why I absolutely love it. It sticks to skin very well. This is also one of the few Parfums de Marly's that really perform very well. So that's why this one stuck to me. Are you feeling your legs right now? That's such a funny thing to ask me. So yes, I do still have my legs, if you haven't noticed, and I am still feeling them. Like I said, I walk a lot. At my job, I work 10 hours a day, and I pretty much walk the entire time. You'd think I'd be in better shape, but like I said, food can go a long way with messing that up. But I definitely feel my legs, and it's not that bad. It's not that bad standing up for a long time. It's only been an hour. I've done 3-4 hour streams and stuff like that. But yeah, Pegasus is close to being my #1, but Herod is definitely my favorite of the Parfums de Marly's. I don't even remember what the notes are, to be honest with you, but I love Clinique Happy Clinique Happy. I don't remember what that is. So I know I've seen that at the store, but I don't remember what it smells like, to be honest with you. But yeah, Herod is absolutely beautiful. I wish the bottles that you buy did what the ones in the store do. If you go to like a Nordstrom and you go where they keep the Parfums de Marly's, I'll tell you this, by the way, if you're a woman and you're looking for a Parfums de Marly, bro, show something new in your arsenal. Something new, like something that I recently purchased. I would love to do that. Give me just a second. Oh yeah, Carlisle is really good. But I just want to show you guys one more time, just throwing this out there. If you guys ever get your hands on Red Tobacco Intense, I know people want to say this isn't true, but Red Tobacco Intense by Mancera, it's a little bit more harsh at first, but it definitely, over the dry down, starts turning into something very similar to Carlisle if you want to save your money. Something new in my arsenal, though, these guys are the newest things that I just got my hands on. So we got this for my birthday, in case you guys missed it the other day. Just got the new Capri in Love by Dolce & Gabbana. But also I got Vulcan Sable in through the mail. And then I got, same comment. So I got Vulcan Sable in the mail yesterday. And as well, I also just got Royal Blend. What is this? Nero? Royal Blend Nero by French Avenue. So I wear black opium for occasions. So Deanna, I don't know if you've seen this before, but actually, and I'm not sure which black opium you've got, but this is my wife, one of her favorite fragrances of all time. She wears this. People who've been here before have already heard me say this 1,000 times. My wife wears black opium pretty much every day, or almost every day, and she mixes it with Amouage's Reflection. So she absolutely loves this. I don't think she's smelled Burberry Touch yet, but here's another one that we got for my wife, but she doesn't wear this very much. Hold on. And that would be, this is the woman's. I know they've got a man's version, but I'm not the biggest fan of it, so I'm not even going to buy it. Guess you should buy the black one you showed. I would say so. That wouldn't be a bad idea. But yeah, my wife has the Dolce & Gabbana Devotion, but she doesn't really wear it. We got the Dolce & Gabbana Devotion, and we got the Blue Jasmine when it first came out. But it's funny because people's tastes change, and that's why it's very difficult to always know exactly what people are going to like. So, excuse me. Sorry. But by the way, again, anybody who's stopping through here, please feel free to ask any questions that you want to. More than happy to answer anything you guys want to know. And I appreciate you guys for being here. I actually am going to be ending the stream kind of soon because I do got some things I got to go do. I'm going to go see my grandma again before, because again, she could pass at any time. So I'm going to be doing that. But thank you guys so much for being here. Stronger With You Intensely review. All right. If that's what you want me to do, we'll do that right now. You want to know why I'm going to do that right now? Because I've got the Stronger With You Intensely sample, and I've got the Stronger With You parfum. So give me just a second, you guys. And let me find the Intensely. I'm trying to remember what color they put it in. Here it is. All right. So right here, I've got Stronger With You. Bro, you know I love enthusiasts as I am also a PC enthusiast. I love it. Absolutely, and I appreciate you. Hey, Ishmael, super happy to have you here. But so Abu Bakar, bro, what happened to your grandma? Real quick, I'll answer my buddy here. So my grandma has a intestinal blockage. Long story short, real quick, after I explain this about what's going on in my family, I've got Intensely here, Stronger With You Intensely. I don't know if you guys want to see. Giorgio Armani is the first time I've ever done a real live comparison. Here I've got the new Armani Stronger With You parfum. So I also want to check out the new Stronger With You sandalwood. I don't know if you guys saw about that, and they have a leathery feel. But my grandma, just for anybody who asked, real fast, she has an intestinal blockage. She is in hospice right now. And roughly speaking, she hasn't eaten in like 9 days, something along those lines. So she's on her way. They're going to be passing soon. So yeah, Xerjoff Naxos review after. I will 100% do that for you. So with that being said, yeah, this is so beautiful. This is the Stronger With You Intensely. So when I think about, I'm going to spray this on my actual hand real quick. So this is the parfum. Here's the deal. If you guys have actually smelled any of the Stronger With You line, immediately you can tell the difference. Hold on. So this is Stronger With You Intensely. This is this is the Stronger With You parfum. By the way, thank you so much for your apologies. It's okay because like my grandma was 83 years old, so she had a great life. At the end of the day, like we all have ups and downs, but for me personally, I'm just looking forward to when she finally gets to be at peace. Right now, though, she like isn't all there, but she's gonna be okay. So as I smell this, the Stronger With You Intensely is much more youthful. That's the best way I can put it. Yeah, because this right here is the Stronger With You parfum, and it is a lot richer. It has a little bit more, quite a bit more depth to it. It's the best way I can put it. She will be in a better place. You're absolutely right, King. Thank you so much for saying that, King Sword. But yeah, so this is anybody who's dropping through here who hasn't been watching right now, other than talking about family stuff. I'm doing a comparison of the Stronger With You Intensely versus the new parfum. And then afterwards, quickly, I'm going to do a quick little review of Naxos, one of my favorite fragrances of all time. But the parfum here has a very much more rich chestnut feel to it, which they say is one of the primary notes that they're going for in the mid-range and underneath. But that bright mandarin with there is a leather accord here. Okay, there is a built-in leather accord with the Stronger With You line, especially in the new parfum line. But again, for those of you who don't like leather, It is a very faint scent. So in comparison to something like ombre leather or Tuscan leather, which is more like inside of a car, new car smell leather type of scent, it's very faint and very sweet. I like sweet leather fragrances. The way that they did the leather underneath here is mostly pink pepper and mandarin. You're getting that a lot. The overall makeup between Intensely and the Parfum is very similar. It's just like higher concentrations with mild differences in that chestnut feel. But I will say, I prefer the Parfum over the Intensely. Now, a friend of mine, he prefers the Intensely, and it's totally okay. Here's what's interesting. I don't know too many people. I've seen fragrance like TikTokers and so forth say that they prefer Absolutely. I don't. I don't prefer Absolutely, and I don't know anybody personally who prefers the Absolutely, but it is a nice overall fragrance. But between the two of them, I'm going with the Parfum, but Intensely is very, very nice. But yeah, Absolutely, it's pretty good, but it's just not my favorite. But let's see. My buddy Yuvraj said, "Can I teach you the basics, like what Oud mean, like in fragrance perfumes?" Okay, so just to give you an idea, real quick, we're going to run through this. So Absolutely is better than Intensely. Hey, you know what? And that's the best part about fragrances is that it's good that everybody gets to have like their own feelings about them, their own tastes. There's stuff we can all agree is good. There's stuff that some people like better than others. That's the way it's going to be. Like I said, I've got friends who I personally think the Parfum is my favorite, but I got friends who prefer the Intensely. When it comes down to it, everybody's got their own feelings. But I will say that I think that Absolutely myself is like my least favorite of the three. But I see why people would like it more because there's something about it. If you don't prefer the Parfum, I can see why between the two, some people would like that little mid-range vibe to it. Let's see, Double Moon, my favorite. I don't know what Double Moon is, but maybe you meant Douglas Moon, but I'm not sure. Either way, if that's true, thank you. Hey, good morning. Hey, good morning to you, buddy. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, Marco. I'm super happy to see you, and I'm happy to see all of you guys. But to explain to my buddy Euphrasia real quick about the difference. So this right here is Intensely. This is an Eau de Parfum. And then there's Eau de Toilette, like Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue versus Light Blue Eau Intense. So just to give you a quick understanding, hold on, what's the least favorite fragrance? I'll explain it in just a second. But just to give you an understanding, the concentration profiles. So Cologne or Eau de Cologne, weakest concentration. And that's how much fragrance versus alcohol or fragrance versus water, but we prefer the alcohol in them. And then if you go to Eau de Toilette, it's next step up, Eau de Parfum. And then it's like, basically, even though it's mostly the same as just regular Parfum, sometimes extract de Parfum can mean different things depending on who does it. Anyway, sorry, typing mistake, Douglas Moon. Thank you so much, dude. That means the world to me. The new sandalwood has to be so good. Kingsford, I feel the exact same way. I've been thinking about that myself. Eau Fort, Eau de Toilette. So Eau Fort is definitely the more water-based new Sauvage. I am not a fan of it myself. I smell the new Eau Fort. I don't really get a pleasure out of it, but that's just me, my personal tastes. But yeah, I smelled the new Eau Fort recently, and I actually think it's kind of a little harsh and nasty from Sauvage. But extract de Parfum. So my buddy Ishmael here is giving a good laydown about how everything goes. Oh, I see what you're saying now. So you're not talking about Sauvage. So basically, he's saying like the water base, and that is in fact like, again, just like Eau de Cologne, a Eau Fort or something based around just purely water, which is the way it is, very weak. Review Hawas. So thank you so much, anyways, for saying, like you said, my buddy, that I'm your favorite. You want me to review Hawas? Sure. I've actually got 2 bottles of it, by the way. I got multiple bottles of Hawas, but I've got 2 different formulations. I don't know if you guys can see the color difference. Hopefully you can real fast. So this one's obviously like a light pink. This one's purple. So there is a difference in when they were made. But with that being said, they almost honestly smell basically, pretty much identical. It's just a general formulation because there was a chemical in the original Hawas. This isn't the only thing they changed, but in the original Hawas fragrance, there was something, I'm not going to try to say the word for you guys now because it won't make any difference to you, but supposedly it wasn't good for the reproductive system, especially for men. So they don't know that for sure, but for the most part, they believe that is to be the case and is banned in certain countries. So they took that chemical out amongst a handful of other things. None of the new other Hawas fragrances have it either. But how do you shake off the effect of YouTube promotion? How did I shake it off the last time? hold on real quick, and I guess I'll explain that as well, especially for people who don't know. But with that being said, yeah, as far as Hawass goes, it's just a very bubblegummy plum type of fragrance. And to be honest, it's definitely not something I ever would wear. I don't think they're horrible, but they're just not my style. They're way too youthful, and they are very powerful, very long lasting. I got all the other Hawasses, like Hawass Elixir. I got Hawass Black and Fire over here. I like them all more. Basically, Pegasus smells magnificent. I absolutely think so too. I love it. I bought a fragrance and accidentally broke it. If I was 4 and it was my father. Oh, dang, that really sucks. Hey, could you review Liquid Brune? I will do that for you, Chris Roy. I'll do that for you in just a minute. Oh, and I'm so sorry to my other buddy. You asked me to review Naxos, so I'll do Naxos and Liquid Brune in that order real fast. But to shake off YouTube promotion. So Marco asked me, how do I shake off the effects? To be honest with you, I still actually haven't. You want to know something really funny? So again, I might lose people watching. That's okay, but we're going to explain this real quick. More people will come if they should choose to do so. So to people watching who don't know, as you see, I have a silver play button here. So what happened is, hold on, and then my father, but that's really funny. I hope not, though. I hope you're okay. You didn't tell your favorite Hawass. My favorite Hawass is Hawass Black because it's a very good take on the Creed Aventus DNA, which I don't really love, but it's still, of all the Hawasses, Hawass Black and Hawass Fire are my favorite. But anyway, so basically as a YouTuber, when my subscribers, okay, long story short, some of my videos started doing pretty well, like my Naxos video, whatever. Lots of people from certain countries that will remain unnamed started subscribing to my channel. Well, I ended up over time, my algorithm was growing and growing and growing. I got my 100K subscriber thingy here. YouTube started sending me lots of emails about using their promotion feature. And actually, I'm going to see if I can show you guys an email real quick. YouTube started sending me a bunch of emails. I'm going to show you guys something live and in person right now if I can find it so you guys will see kind of what I'm talking about. But Google Ads and YouTube started sending me, especially after I got over 100,000 subscribers, some crap about using their promotion feature because as a YouTuber, supposedly it'll help grow your account and all that stuff. So I thought, you know what? I got 100K subscribers. My videos are doing pretty decent. I want to keep this going. As a business, as you try to be as a creator, you think advertisement will help. So long story short, I used their promotion feature as they kept sending me emails. And instead, the videos that I used it on, I tried it on some of my less popular fragrance reviews, and it did absolutely horrible. The videos I did tanked. Some of the work. So if anybody out there is watching and you want to become a content creator like me, do not use Google Ads whatsoever. So let me see if I can show you this without you guys seeing my information, because I don't want you to see my personal information. Long story short, I was climbing, doing well. I can show you up close and personal if you want to see this. This is a real deal. But I used the YouTube promotion feature as they kept sending me emails from the Google Ads account managers and stuff, and basically it like destroyed the videos that I used it on. They got no traction. They got the worst watch times ever, worst click-through rates, all that crap, because they just show your videos on many, many people's things without using a real algorithm or making sure it's based around your kind of niche. And then pretty much to this day since then, they're still trying to send me stuff to use their ads account and all that crap. And with this said, I'm going to see if I can block this off and show you guys. And let me make sure there's nothing personal here. So from my private email, maybe you guys can see, even Google Ads sent me a thing yesterday, as I've been bashing it from YouTube ads and stuff, to use a freaking $500 credit that they've put onto my account because they want me to continue to use this junk, and I'm absolutely not going to do that. They're not going to sucker me back into paying more money or trying to use money to promote my channel. If anybody ever wants to see those kind of emails again, I'll show you. But yeah, absolutely a bunch of crap. You better than more than other useless creators. These live streams help me a lot. Thank you so much for saying that, dude. I really appreciate it. What's the perfume on the third shelf? The white one. This one? I guess that's what you're talking about. Okay. And I'm trying to remember. So you guys got to remind me. I'm trying to remember what you want to see me review. So Naxos and Liquid Brune. I'm sorry if the person who wants to see me do Liquid Brune has left, but I just wanted to explain that real quick. That basically I'm still paying for it. But anyway, this right here is Giardini di Toscana. It's an Italian company. This is their fragrance called Bianco Latte. If, again, you guys want to go actually watch my real review videos, I just did a full review on this like the other week. Yeah, that one you're holding. So this is a straight up, like, delicious vanilla waffle. Like if you've ever been where people are making brand new cones, like waffle cones for ice cream, This is exactly what that smells like for the most part. It is just a beautiful, sweet vanilla waffle cone dessert fragrance. It's supposed to make you think of coffee, but there really isn't a whole lot of a coffee scent to it. It's like the lightest amount of caramel, but it's mostly like a delicious vanilla explosion. And this is one of the strongest fragrances that I've ever had. Just being real with you guys, this is absolutely powerful. When you spray it on your skin, it sticks like magic, even though it smells faint. Ironically, when you spray it on, not faint like it's not strong, but it has like a lightness to it. It has lift. So when you spray it on, it's surprising that it lasts so well. I think this is $150 on their website, but I think on Amazon, although you can't really always trust Amazon, I think you can get this on there for like, I don't know, like $130, but for $20 extra, you might as well get the real deal. But yeah, Bianco Latte, Giardini di Toscana. If you want me to show you the bottle again, I can, but it's incredible. I smelled that was so good on my skin. I'm glad you love it, dude. It's amazing. But yeah, to Abu Bakar, sorry for not saying your name properly. Yeah, I personally don't care too much for the Hawass line in general. Like, it's funny because Hawass was one of the first things that inspired me to get back into fragrances as a whole, but I just don't really love it. It's just too youthful for me. Not to sound like a douche or bougie or nothing. I will tell you that when something's made well or at least performs well or whatever. But for me personally, I just don't like overly youthful scent profiles, except for one in particular. And that's just because I like it. And that is, and every now and then I'll wear it and it's really, really strong. If I want something that smells nice, it's inoffensive, I'll do the Paco Rabanne 1 Million Elixir. Bro, you didn't give me tips to be a husband material, bro. I'm sorry about that. Okay, I'll just tell you real fast. If anybody ever wants to ask me personally about like being a good partner or how to become like, you know, husband material, like if anybody ever has those kind of questions, if you're younger, I'm just going to tell you straight up. Be honest, although as human beings, it can be really hard not to ever tell like little white lies or something like that. But if you want to become somebody who could one day get married or get into a relationship, be honest, even if it hurts. Be willing to receive criticism, but be willing to analyze yourself to make sure that you're being as honest with yourself as well. But also know if people are critiquing you, are they being honest? Or are they being fair? Try to control yourself. Be patient. Try to be as patient as you can be. It's not easy. I fail all the time. If somebody gives you an attitude, like your kids or your girlfriend, whoever, try to be patient because that is the most important thing is that you show patience and care and compassion. Here's something I'm really bad at, very, very bad at, and it's listening. As you guys can see, I'm okay at talking for hours. I'm not always the best at listening. Have you tried Odyssey Dubai chocolate? I have not, but I heard it's fantastic. I haven't tried it, and I can't tell you if it's actually good or not. But to finish giving you advice, be patient, be honest, be as compassionate as you can possibly be, and just give the best you can. When you're going to love people, try to give the best you can. Also, when you first start dating people, let me tell you a little something. Be as upfront as you can be right away. You go on those first dates or whatever, start just being you. Don't try to cover it up. Things people do a lot when they go on first dates is try to like put on a show and show a side of them that's not really you. Don't do that. Just be you right away. If you're a goofy person, if you're interested in like wacky stuff or like what, if you got personal taste, whatever. Like for instance, if you love perfumery, well, talk about that kind of stuff. Talk about your passions right away. Because if you're meant to be with somebody, you'll know, because if you talk about your passions or whatever, if you like music, if you love to read, you love comic books, let's say you love like anime, manga, or whatever, let's say you love hiking, I don't care if you love to cook. If you're meant to be with somebody, it'll be because they actually connect to you and your soul and who you are. So it isn't worth putting on a show. Just be you. Talk about the things you love. And if that person matches up with that, if they're cool with that, if they also share their interests, even if you don't care about like the thing themselves, it's nice to listen to people talk about stuff they're passionate about. It's kind of why YouTubers do so well. So that's the best advice I could give you. Good morning, Douglas. Scent of the day is Smoking Hot by Killian. That is fantastic. I'm glad that you like that. I'm glad you're wearing it today. It's a fantastic choice. I'm wearing Bleu de Chanel Parfum. Best niche brand ever, 100% Xerjoff. Your top 3 least expensive or go-to colognes. Least expensive, depending on exactly, okay, I would say top least expensive, Liquid Brune, Hadlach Island, and depending on what you mean by least expensive, I would say Eros Energy maybe, but at the same time, that's a toughie because it's still not very cheap. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Liquid Brune and Hadlach Island, and perhaps if I really had to choose, I would say Mad Al Dahab, definitely a fantastic fragrance, pretty good price range as well. Well, you know what? No, Latafa Hamra. I'm gonna go Latafa Hamra Kawa. Thanks for the advice. Absolutely, dude. Anytime. Anybody's ever got questions, pick between Liquid Broom and Hamra Kawa. Liquid Broom. Kawa is amazing, but I'm going to go with Liquid Broom because it's incredible. Although, if you want to be a little bit more distinct, now, you know what? I'm going to stick with Liquid Broom just because I like it more. That's just my personal tastes. But yeah, that's the best I can do for you guys. I'm getting a full bottle Ombre Nomad. That's a fantastic choice. Very fantastic choice, buddy. If you guys ever got questions for me about pretty much anything, you're welcome to give them out there. Now I'm going to finally do what I was supposed to do a long time ago. I don't even know if my buddies who asked me to do this are still here, but I'm going to do it for you anyway. I was literally about to say that, RIP. I was literally about to say I'm going to do the reviews you guys asked for. So to start with, King Sword, if you're still here, please let me know why Hadlaj Island is not present in Pakistan. I don't know about that. A lot of people are having a hard time getting a hold of that, apparently. Have you tried Rasasi Hawa series? I got them all. We literally just talked about them. If you'd like me to, I'll talk about them again in a minute, but I'm going to do these reviews real quick. So, my favorite fragrance of all time, except it's tied with Oud Silk Mood by Maison Francis Kirkjohn, and then Amouage's Reflections. Favorite fragrance of all time, sorry for tapping the mic, is Xerjoff's Naxos. This is absolutely beautiful perfumery. My favorite perfumery that I've ever put my nose on in the entire universe. You got Bound, Tasty Shade. I don't know what Bound is. But anyway, King Sword, for me, Azara Chrome. Azara Chrome Extreme, fantastic. But just reviewing real quick, my favorite fragrance of all time, Naxos by Xerjoff. You guys see it everywhere, and there's a reason for that. This is gorgeous, gorgeous perfumery. This is, again, honey, vanilla, tobacco with a little bit of floral feel behind it. I'm almost positive that there's a light rose note in this, but I'm not entirely sure. Definitely some Lily of the Valley materials, but they've got a honey and vanilla with a tobacco leaf accord. So here's the thing. There's all types of tobacco accords. So like in Carlisle or red tobacco, you've got more of a smoky, incensey tobacco. So not pure incense. There's a difference with like a smoked tobacco. This has tobacco leaf. I don't know if you guys have ever smelled tobacco leaf before, but if you get the chance to do so, please don't smoke. I don't encourage smoking. But if you have ever smelled pure tobacco leaves before, they are very sweet. It smells like a raisin minus the fruit quality. Again, it might sound strange, kind of almost like dried figs. Again, minus that little bit of jammy fruit quality. That is what you get out of this, and it is absolutely beautiful. So this, again, like I said, is vanilla with honey, but the most gorgeous tobacco leaf smell you'll ever smell in basically any fragrance. So again, they don't sponsor me, although I wish they did. I would love it if Xerjoff sent me 1,000 bottles of this. I'd never stop wearing it. Bro, tobacco is, yes, it absolutely is. So this is fantastic. That's a very funny thing, by the way, if you're making a joke. Let me see. Bro, it's a request. I don't, if I would help you or not, ever talk about political matters and stuff live here. Hold on real quick. Let me see what's going on. So again, the Rasasi series and stuff like that, just throwing this out there though. Is it good to have all 4 flankers, Black Elixir and Fire? So don't worry about Ice. Ice is just like a mildly minty version of the original. On the other hand, for the price range, if you want to get Black Elixir and Fire, I think they're decent enough choices, because they do what you want them to do. They perform pretty well. Black is a really good version of the DNA, like of Creed Aventus. It's a good choice. So I think they're all great to have. If you want, I like them all way better than the original Hawas. You think Mancera is the best niche fragrance house? Hey, that's perfectly fine. To you, Faraj, I won't ever talk about political stuff really, but there is some subjects that I'll get to, should you guys ask. Is it similar to JPG Lamel Elixir? Is what similar? This? If you're talking about this, because there is like a honey and lavender mint note going on in JPG Lamel Elixir, this is actually like in the same family, but completely different fragrances. If you love Lamel Elixir, if you love it, if you like the sweet honey and tonka bean feel, you'll love this. It'll drive you absolutely crazy. If you love Lamel Elixir, which used to be my #1 favorite fragrance, Naxos will drive you bananas. Tobacco smells so good. It almost has a honey-like smell to it. It does. Oh, by the way, somebody asked me what my favorite initio is. It is Side Effect, although kind of tied with Paragon. But as a person who absolutely loves rose fragrances, Atomic Rose is really nice too. Let's see. It smells so good. Yeah, tobacco leaf does smell absolutely fantastic. I love going near. No, so my family used to pick tobacco. That's what they did. Like as a person from North Carolina, my great-grandparents and grandparents, my great-grandparents came to North Carolina, and then my grandparents, when they were kids, picked tobacco leaves during the summer. I've been around tobacco farms. Tobacco leaf smells absolutely beautiful. So when you find a fragrance that has it, it's incredible. I as well love La Male Elixir. You have to go. Well, I hope you have a beautiful day. To my buddy King Sword, please do, like I said, if you use any other social sites, please find me. I'd love to talk to you about God, and I'd love to talk to you about other things that have to do with that. If that's okay with you, please do. I'd really love to do that. But I hope you have a beautiful day. Please tell us 5 best fragrances under $50. I will do that. My grandma picked tobacco. Yeah, my grandpa, and he's loved to smell. Yeah, absolutely. Tobacco leaves is absolutely beautiful, incredible. One of my favorite things, literally at my job, one of our fragrances that we have is called Sweet Tobacco, and it's my favorite fragrance that we have of all the fragrances that we sell to make candles with. So I love it. 5 favorite fragrances under $50. Liquid Broom, Hod Lodge Island. I'm going to go with... This is actually a pretty good take. Shiaka by Hod Lodge is a really good take on one of my favorite fragrances, which is Reflection by Amouage. But I'm going to go with Liquid Broom, Hod Lodge Island. I also really like this, Silver Oud by French Avenue, same company that did the Hod Lodge, same company that did Liquid Broom. And I would say as well, this is actually pretty good. So I don't know this guy personally, so when I say this, please understand, I'm not sponsored by anybody, and I don't know this guy, so I'm not saying this because of this. But Cal Cologne's edition of Rayhan, the Tiger, I think that's actually really good. This is like Bleu de Chanel Parfum underneath Black Orchid. I think this is a fantastic fragrance. So this is also under $50. So if you're looking for multiple fragrances under $50, those are pretty good choices. As well as Rayhan's Lion, looks very similar, and it's supposed to be like an ultra male dupe, but it's a little bit different, a little more soapy. So those are good fragrances under $50. Smoking Hot has a tobacco note with vanilla. Smells so good. Well, that's fantastic. Thank you for commenting and letting me know that. Well, anyways, I have appreciated you guys so much for being here. I did review, like, you get RIP. Which one did you want to see? You wanted me to talk about Liquid Broom? I'll do that real fast before I got to go. If any of you guys have any more questions before I go, please go ahead and do them now. But I just reviewed Naxos by Xerjoff, my favorite fragrance. But I'm going to review real quick Liquid Broom for my buddy. Where do you keep all your designer fragrances? To be honest with you, they're kind of blended in. So depending on what you mean by designer, because I personally think that Joe Malone and Tom Ford are considered designers. They're right here. I honestly almost kind of think about Parfums de Marly being a designer, kind of. But I keep, other than Initios, my Versace, Armani, Dolce & Gabbana, Jean-Paul Gaultier, YSL, my designers are all right here. I have way more niche than I do designer. I got way more Amouage, Xerjoff, my Sauvages, my Dior's, Dior Homme Intense. All my Dior's are down here. Anything at Paco Rabanne's are down on the bottom. So they're kind of all scattered in there, mixed in a little bit. I have to order a sample of Silver Oud. You got me thinking about it. Hey, somebody else I was telling about that earlier too, because he was asking me about Haltine. So Amouage Silver Oud, please do. Get you a sample of that if you can. I think you're going to love it. So real quick, going to review Liquid Broom. I'm going to let that settle a little bit because I don't want to smell it too much because it's not really what I'm going for today. This is an absolutely gorgeous take, an absolutely gorgeous, beautiful take on Altair. Again, I don't normally support dupes and cheapies unless you just really need to like keep things on a budget if you're a student or something. I don't normally support that though over like a real collection of stuff you can be proud of. But again, there's nothing wrong with having to be on a budget. But Liquid Broom is one of those very few dupe cheap fragrances I'm bananas about. This smells so beautiful. I like this better than the original, because this is a cranked up concentration of that vanilla pod orange blossom. Again, I said orange blossom, not oranges. Don't think about mandarin orange like you would like mandarin as a top note in Stronger With You Parfum or Absolutely or something. Don't think that. Orange blossom is a floral note that has like an orange cream feel to it. That is what you get mixed with vanilla pod, with Altair, with Vanilla Dunes, and with Liquid Broom. So when I say that, that's what you're getting out of this, and this is absolutely perfection. For $30, like I said, nobody's paying me to say this. When I say this, I really mean it. Liquid Broom smells really good. I don't like the opening because I'm not a fan of orange blossom, but the dry down is the best part. So you're absolutely right. If you don't like that creamy orange blossom feel, it wears off quick. And what you really get stuck with is that vanilla pod. Remembering, there's all types of different things. When somebody says vanilla pod, that's going to be way different Then this right here, Bianco Latte, is a pure vanilla fragrance that is more vanilla ice cream type of vanilla bean versus vanilla pod concept. Completely different ideas. This I like a little bit more than I like that. And that kind of concept is fantastic. Where can you order authentic Hot Lodge fragrances? That's a tricky one because Hot Lodge has a website, but also if you can't order from there, if you do go to Amazon, again, not sponsored, but they do have a store. Hot Lodge, the actual house, has a official store, I believe, on Amazon. I don't know what country you're in, so I don't know if you can access it there, but that's what I do. Orange Blossom gives me dryer sheet vibes, similar to YSL myself. I'm also not the biggest fan of YSL myself, but you're absolutely correct. It does have that kind of feel for a lot of people. So here's the thing. In fragrances, there are people like me who used to hate, but come to love linen type of scent profile, fresh, clean linens and cotton and certain types of floral notes that are different than like geranium and stuff. But for a lot of people, they don't like that kind of stuff. And it kind of has to grow on you, and it can be a much more mature type of fragrance. So yes, it's definitely not something for everybody. And so you're in Pakistan, so I try to do Hot Lodge's store through Amazon. But anyway, my friends, definitely have to go. I appreciate you all so much for having been here. I appreciate you guys for taking the time to watch. Before I leave, I'm going to give you the chance to ask me maybe 2 more questions. But I do really have to go. It's way beyond the time I should have already left. But I appreciate you guys so much for having been here. Again, if you guys are willing to do so, please take the time to go check out my actual videos. If you like my content, if you have appreciated this live stream, remember, I will be back every Wednesday to talk fragrances with you guys. Last question, best designer fragrance. I'm going to go with Jean-Paul Gaultier's Le Mail Le Parfum or Bleu de Chanel Parfum. Oh, actually, it's tough for me to pick. I can't really pick, so I'm going to go between Bleu de Chanel Parfum, Versace Eros Parfum, Jean-Paul Gaultier's Le Mail Le Parfum, and then lastly, Dolce & Gabbana's Eau Intense Light Blue. Those are my favorites. I can't really choose one though. But if you actually made me have to choose, I would say Le Mail Le Parfum out of all of those. But yeah, like I said, you guys coming through, you guys having asked me questions about fragrances, I appreciate it so much. I'm about to have to jump off here, but if you guys appreciate what I've done, Blind by King, what? I don't know if you meant to say Blind by King, but I don't personally do that. Other than these cheap fragrances. You're talking about the fragrance Blink. I don't know. I've never smelled that. I'm sorry. Justin Bieber. Hey, you know what? Thank you for taking the time to say, at least I look somewhat like Justin Bieber. I appreciate that. That's not the first time that somebody said that. That's not the first time somebody's tried to insult me. But at the end of the day, that's okay. I appreciate you being here because every comment helps the algorithm grow. And at least you said something without being like vulgar, necessarily speaking, because I can still allow it to be here. But yeah, like I said, anybody who's taken the time to come through here and watch so far, I appreciate you guys for being here. I thank you for watching. I thank you guys for taking the time to give your support, your comments, your likes, and all that stuff. Thank you very much. Light Blue Intense smells like Nautica Voyage a little bit, but it's still got more maturity to it overall. And for me personally, I like the Light Blue Intense. I'm not the biggest fan of Nautica Voyage, but I do know there are a lot of people who love it. It's not my style. There's a cheapness factor to it. No offense, again, to Nautica Voyage, there's a factor to it I just don't like and care for very much that the Light Blue Eau Intense kind of does a little bit different for me. Voyage says, hey, you know what, like I said, why hate? Okay, E.T., I didn't know what you said at first. I thought you said I hated something. But again, you know what, at the end of the day, listen, guys, if you ever come through my videos, it's very rare that I get somebody who tries to like be hateful or troll me or something like that. Very rare that happens, but it's okay. If people do that kind of stuff, look, some people just got nothing better to do. Also, let's be real here. It can be kind of funny. It can be kind of funny when people have something to say, so I don't really mind. It doesn't last, though. If you're talking about Nautica Voyage, hey, I agree with you. Nautica Voyage does, or unless you're talking about Eau Intense. I don't have that personal experience. Eau Intense lasts very well for me. Please don't go. 5 more minutes. I'll tell you what. I will do, let me see what time it is right now. 10:45. Okay, so like I said, I do have to go, but I will try to do just a few more minutes. So in the meantime, if you guys got any more questions, if you'd like to know anything else about these fragrances, please feel free to ask. But I don't really have anything else to give you at this point, except to say, like I already said, if you guys have enjoyed talking with me, if you guys have enjoyed being here, every Wednesday I do these streams. I'm always here to talk. Any favorite Tom Ford fragrances, I'll answer that in just a second after I finish. Mancera Cedrat Bois, I've got the Intense. It's a really good fragrance. If you're going to get something in that price range, it's pretty decent. I got that kind of Creative Ventus DNA with a little variation. But yeah, like I was saying, I do these every Wednesday. When I post new videos, please, if you guys actually like what I do and you want to help me, you want to help support me, go watch those videos, watch them all the way through or at least halfway, because that's what counts for YouTube, like paying me, supporting me if they're going to do so. Please hit the like button. Please comment. Here's the crazy thing about being a YouTuber. Isn't it Thursday? It is, but even though today's Thursday, I have these 2 days off. Today and tomorrow I got off because of what's going on with my grandma. Because it is quality as well as it is niche. My Mancera is cheap. Oh, I don't know why Manceras are cheaper. They just made a very smart decision. They're not like the best in the world, but they are good fragrances. They have a lot of good Mancera fragrances. I don't know why they just made a smart choice. Make good stuff, but sell it for a better price range. If more companies did that, more people would buy your stuff. People will still buy expensive stuff because of hype or even quality. But if you can make good stuff like Mancera Instant Crush and sell it for a good price, it'll do a lot better in the long run, I personally think. I'm not a businessman, but that's what I think. But yeah, today is Thursday, so like I said, I figured I'd do a couple extra streams just to try to help out, just to connect to you guys, algorithm, all that stuff. But like I said, if you guys appreciate what I do, you like my stuff, please go watch my real videos. I have actually had people tell me they like doing these live streams, but they don't want to watch my actual videos and like all that junk and comment. As a YouTuber, it's kind of a slap in the face, because I love you guys being here and I appreciate you guys so much. But when will you come to the live stream next? I think I'm going to do one tomorrow, usually every Wednesday, but I think I'm going to do one tomorrow. But yeah, just throwing this out there, you guys. It's really hurtful to people like me, these guys' channels, when you guys don't, well, not you guys watching because you guys have been supportive, but when people don't go watch our real like review videos. I've got loads of them. If you don't go watch those and comment and all that stuff, it doesn't help me grow. So please, if you really like what I do, go watch my real reviews, leave your thoughts, hit the like button. And again, it helps me continue to be able to do this. And if you guys ever got fragrances you want to see me review, I can't do that without you guys' support. So please, please do that. But anyway, as far as the live stream, if I do come back tomorrow, it will probably be roughly maybe around 8 a.m. for me. I'm not sure what time it is for you right now. It is 10:48 a.m. where I'm at right now, so probably around that time. Montel makes some super potent fragrances. You can get them for the cheap. I haven't done any Montel fragrances yet, but I do want to. I think I'm saying that right. Montel, I'm not sure. But I haven't done any of their stuff just yet. But yeah, I guess that's probably everything. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for your support. If you guys post any more comments before I close it out, you're welcome to do so. Welcome to ask about whatever you want to. But yeah, that's pretty much the majority of this stream. It has been almost 2 hours. Arabian's Tonka. I want to get, yes, around the same time. That's when I'm going to be back. So if I do come back tomorrow, just remember, like I said, I normally do Wednesdays, but I might come back tomorrow. Yeah, holy smokes, funny seeing you here. I've been thinking about telling, who's Diego? Oh, Diego. Oh, sorry, buddy. That's so funny. Gringo. I don't know what the first word means, so I'm not going to say that out loud. I don't want to say anything offensive in case it is something offensive. I don't know. But I am a gringo. So just throwing it out there. My favorite Tom Ford fragrance. So happy to have you. Any clones you recommended for a collection on a budget? Liquid Broom. Hot Lodge. Liquid Broom by French Avenue. Hot Lodge Island. So good take on the Bola Parfum. And then Shiaka by Hot Lodge. And then I think I'm actually liking Latafa Fakar. Good budget fragrances. My favorite Tom Ford, Ombre Leather, Tom Ford Ombre Leather, Noir Extreme, Oud Mineral. I love Tobacco Vanilla. I love Black Lacquer, Lost Cherry. And yeah, Ombre Leather Parfum is my favorite Tom Ford fragrance. Top Dog Games. Absolutely. You're always welcome here, Top Dog, to ask me any questions you want. Please, like I said, you guys are welcome to whenever I do my streams, and you guys are always welcome to check out my actual videos. Once again, by the way, I thank you guys so much for being here. I thank you for your support. It means the world to me. Also, though, if you guys ever see anybody like hating in the comments or saying aggressive or hateful things, let's just, as long as people aren't saying anything that's like super anti-family friendly. Let's just push it to the side and not even worry about it. Hodlodge Island is way, way better than the LeBeau. What about Lamella Elixir? I actually still like LeBeau more, but Hodlodge Island is fantastic. As for like a Lamella Elixir type of deal, people have, that's a little tough. I think, honest to goodness, I think this is a good choice. Rayhan Elixir, if you have to have a dupe of it, this is pretty good. I have a niche fragrance that smells better than Tom Ford Ombre Leather. What is it? I really want to know. I'm not being funny. If you got one that you like more than Ombre Leather, please tell me and tell me the price of it, because I love Ombre Leather and I'm always down for more stuff that smells like it. Is that Nishane Nefs? No, I don't know if you're talking about this or if you're talking about what the other person commented, bro. What about my legs? My legs! I don't know if you guys know SpongeBob. Grim G got sense. Diego from that channel. That's awesome. Well, I don't know who Grim G is. I'm not sure. Maybe it's somebody who comes through here. But anybody who comes through here, like I said, you're always welcome. This is Rayhan's Elixir. This is supposed to be their take on Lamella Elixir. So this is actually a really good fragrance. They did a good job. There's something about this. This is a little different and missing from the original. Hopefully you guys can see me. I'm not sure if my video is buffering or not. But this is a very good take. Let me see that. The Kingdom has a little better performance. Huh. I haven't tried that yet, but thank you, Sense, for being here, and I might have to check that out. But Atelier Materi, I don't know that company, that fragrance house, but I'll have to check that out. Thank you for suggesting that, and if you could, tell me the price. What's up, JJ? I'm so happy that you guys know each other, that you guys can come here and be a part of this community and help support me, but also I'm glad you guys know one another. So please, again, I cannot stress enough, just throwing this out there. If you do enjoy coming here and checking out my reviews, and if you do enjoy coming here and checking out me doing these discussions, go through my actual review catalog, please. I'm sorry to sound like a beggar, but again, I'm so thankful when you guys come through here for my actual live streams. But if you see, I got 27 likes on this live stream, but all my videos lately have been doing way worse because of that algorithm situation that happened. So please, guys, go watch my review videos. I just posted Portrait of a Lady yesterday. Before that, I did this one right here, Bianco Latte, all stuff, in-depth reviews. So please go watch those actual videos and comment, and all that stuff, and watch them. Andrew Solid, he's about the art. I'm thinking about telling him about Graham. Well, I appreciate you guys so much for literally being here. But no, this is definitely a very cheap fragrance. This is Rayhan Elixir, and this is, I think this was $35, something like that. Thought Hawas Elixir is closer, but you said Rayhan Elixir is better. I think this is better. Hawas Elixir is really good. It's actually not that bad. For what it is, for what it's supposed to be, it's not a bad fragrance. What phone do you use? A piece of junk, to be honest with you. This is one of those Spectrum Mobile Galaxy, Samsung Galaxy phones or whatever. It's not that great. I'm sorry, by the way, if you guys are watching and it doesn't look very nice, if the quality of the video is not very good. I just am doing what I can, because you got to remember, the reason why I'm doing these live streams is to connect to you guys so I can build a real community where we can become buddies, talk about fragrances. But also, I'm a YouTuber that has a silver play button who's also not getting paid yet. And I'm not getting paid because YouTube's not giving me credit for my hours. Actually, you know what? I'm so glad you guys are here. Let me show you something since I got my extra phone. I keep talking about this, but I haven't actually got the chance to show you guys. So I'm going to show you guys real fast what I've been talking about over and over again. So here's my channel dashboard, right? You guys are checking it out. Bro, the video is great. No need to worry. Pretty good. Thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that. Let me know that the quality is good. So if you guys see right here, right? This is my actual channel thingy. Now let me show you my watch hours, right? So if you take a look in the past 365 days, look right there. If you guys can see it, I don't know if you can. Past 365 days, if you guys can see it, I don't know. That's 6,523 watch hours. But let me show you something. You scroll down this bad boy, look at that. 1903. That's how many watch hours YouTube's giving me credit for. I've got 6,500 watch hours. I've got a silver play button from YouTube. I can put it in the camera if you guys want to see it. So when I do these live streams and you guys give me support, I just want you to know it means the world to me, because I'm trying to make actual money so that I can sit here and do more fragrances for you guys. So that's why I just keep asking you to go watch my real videos. Share my videos to other pages if you'd like to. Share them to Reddit for all I care. Latafa Fakar review. I had a gaming channel. I don't know. About $260. Oh, that's pretty expensive, so I'm probably not going to do that anytime soon. But Latafa Fakar, you want me to talk about that real fast? By the way, if anybody's wondering, I am ending the stream soon, but I wanted to go ahead and hit all the way 2 hours. So you guys want to see me talk about this real fast? Just by the way, do any of you guys know what this is supposed to smell like? Let me tell you, because I've heard people say different things about what this is supposed to be. But in actuality, this smells almost identical to Parfums de Marly's Percival. I want to say, hey, what's up, YSLY? What's up, buddy? Oh, man, Redbeard just jumped in. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. Actually, I'm going to show you the same thing I was just talking about. It's a clone of YSLY EDP. So I've got YSLY EDP. And to be honest with you, it smells like similar, but there is a lot of Percival, a lot of Parfums de Marly Percival in here to me personally. And I have that. I've worn it a lot. So when I say that, this does a really good job of being like a blend between the two. So Percival mixed with YSL EDP. But I will say, this is pretty okay. I had a YouTube channel, but it had false copyright strikes and got banned. I had 45,000 subs. So that's what I'm saying. YouTube hits you hard a lot. So to my buddy Redbeard, I don't know if you're watching, but I'm going to show you the same thing that I was just showing these guys. So again, here's my YouTube dashboard. Hopefully you guys can see it. I just want to show you guys what happens to you if you're a content creator and sometimes things go screwy. But yeah, and I'll answer your question real quick. So real fast to my buddy who's watching, if you can see Redbeard, my watch hours right here, this is my watch hours, 6,523 in the past 365 days. And guess what? When I go to my earnings as of May 3rd, YouTube is still only giving me credit for 1,900 of those hours. And the only reason they've finally been starting to go up is doing these live streams and talking to you guys. So if you guys like my channel, I'm just going to continue to say this one more good time. Please, for the love of all that is good, go watch my actual videos, comment, and share my stuff around. I give you absolute permission to spam me. Go share my stuff to Reddit. Do whatever you got to do. Spam me to help me so I can start making money so I can do this for you guys. That's all you need to get sponsored. I'm telling you. You're absolutely right. Only a human. Thank you for being here. But yeah, lots of lavender and citrus. You're right. Abercrombie Fierce DNA. Yeah, it does. It has that kind of feel to it, to be honest with you. But I don't really love these. Like, Latafa's a decent house, but it's just not the best. Bro, you like F1? I'm not sure what if you're talking about like a fragrance, but I haven't smelled that. Love from Bangladesh? Well, you know what? I send love to you, buddy. Thank you for being here from Bangladesh. By the way, something I started this video out with, but forgot to actually go full throttle over, was this bad boy right here. And that is, if you guys see this, hello, Alicia. Thank you for being here. But I'm just showing you guys real quick. So I got this in today. This is Royal Blend by French Avenue. Buddy, you have Insta? I sure do. It's the same name as you see above here, or like below, wherever it's at. Douglas Moon Fragrance. Just look that up on Instagram, and you'll see me there. And anybody's welcome to come find me there. It's fine. But yeah. So and by the way, if you do message me on there though, I might not get back because a lot's going on. So I might not always see when I get them. I don't even get notifications. But so everybody knows about Latafa Hamra, and I've got all of them. I have Liquid Broom, but performance isn't the best. That sucks because mine is fantastic. I've got 2 bottles of Liquid Broom from 2 different sellers. They all perform like crazy. So hopefully yours gets better. But yeah. This is Royal Blend. This was suggested by, I think, Aromatics or somebody like that. This is Royal Blend, supposed to be, ironically, strangely enough, a dupe of Hamra by Latafa, which is interesting because we all know, it's funny, these days when people talk about Hamra by Latafa, they don't even talk about Angel Share anymore. Angel Share was supposed to be where Hamra comes from, right? Even though it doesn't smell anything like it. But it's so funny that I got this bad boy Royal Blend because it does smell basically just like it with a little bit more cinnamon. But they say this performs even better. I don't know. We're going to find out. I haven't tried it yet, but I just got this in this morning. And it does literally smell just like Hamra. And it just tickles me that somebody did a dupe. Again, this is the same company that makes all those other ones. But who the heck? Sorry, you guys. I was getting a phone call. The cloners are cloning the cloners. They're right, dude. Let me see here, bro. It's fine. You can't reply, but I'm interested in watching your content. Well, absolutely, dude. But definitely keep up with me on here. 1 Million Lucky review. I have it and it smells so good. I don't have 1 Million Lucky. And also, so yeah, definitely Percival is a good fragrance, but it's not the best in the universe. You bought Liquid Broom yesterday and still smell on me. It is pretty good. I guess it just depends on who gets it and where they get it from. But yeah, see, that's my thing about Parfums de Marly's. Like I said, they're just so designer. People keep calling them niche, but I just don't think so. Silver Mountain Water, Rob, thank you for being here. Thank you for asking the question. Behind my little silver play button, ironically, here is Amouage Silver, which is a dupe of Silver Mountain Water. If you see, he's back there. I've got the real Silver Mountain Water. But I guess you're going to have a golden baddie soon. I hope so. That'd be really cool. But Silver Mountain Water is a really wonderful fragrance. It's my favorite of all Creed fragrances. But to be completely straight with you, the performance is not as good as it should be for the price. Then again, I can say the same thing about Parfums de Marly's a lot of the time. But Silver Mountain Water smells fantastic. But if you want that green tea leaf melon scent, just get Sillage by Armaf. Again, one of those few situations where I'll give you that. I agree they're not niche or that awesome. Yeah, Parfums de Marly's, I really liked them when I first started getting into the more expensive fragrance game. But once I discovered Xerjoff and Amouage, I was done with all those. But Jonathan, like you said, it is so funny that clone companies are cloning other clones now. To have a Latafa Hamra clone makes me sick because Latafa Hamra you can get for like $30. And this was like $35. They made a dupe of Hamra but charged $5 more. To think that this bad boy, and also, by the way, it doesn't, as far as I can tell, perform that much better. Bro, you listen to Michael Jackson? I do. I like Michael Jackson. Ever since I was a kid, my brother loved Michael Jackson. Dylan Blue is a decent fragrance. It's not my favorite, but it's pretty good. If you like Dylan Blue, though, and you like a black pepper fragrance, check this out. This is an eau de parfum. This is the new Capri in Love by Dolce & Gabbana, and it is fantastic. So it's got that similar profile, but with a little more distinction. I don't have 1 Million Lucky, but maybe one day I will. Get Banana Republic for $20. I have one that smells like Silver Mountain Water. I can't endorse that because I've never smelled it. But if I get the chance to do so, I'd love to be able to tell you if it's just as good. But anyway, I thank you guys so much for having been here. Please, I am finally about to go now because I just have to go. But thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for your comments, your support, your appreciation. It means the world to me. Please go watch my actual review videos while I'm gone. If you like hearing me talk, we might not be able to interact except through comments. But if you like hearing me talk, that you aren't going to be able to see this anymore, just know that all of these fragrances you see here, most of these I haven't even filmed full reviews for yet. So I still got so many more to do. I have 144 fragrances right now. So many I got to do reviews for. So just be on the watch out for my real videos, my real reviews, and please go check those out and give me support. By the way, I love you guys, and I appreciate y'all so much. So I send nothing but happiness. God bless each and every one of you guys. I didn't talk about other things than fragrances very much during this stream today because, again, most of you guys had a lot of fragrance-oriented questions, and that's totally great because that's ultimately what I'm here for. But I'm also here to connect to you guys and to have a real community and to just love on you guys and share other things and goodness with you guys because there's not enough of that going around. As a YouTuber, if I continue to grow, and I don't care how many subscribers I get, I don't care how many views I get, please do not think I'm being self-righteous when I say this because I'm not. I'm just being honest with you guys. I don't care where you're from in the world or what your beliefs are as long as you're good to other people or being at least decent to other human beings. I am always going to talk to you guys and be connecting with you guys the same way I am right now. So if God allows this channel to keep growing, if this channel ends up getting to like a point where I do have a gold plaque one day, I hope it does. That'd be amazing. But whether it does or doesn't, I'm still going to be here with you guys and I'm going to keep going. The only way this channel is going to stop and I'm going to quit doing this is, like I said, I've got 144 fragrances that I still got to go through. And I've only done like a handful on my channel. When I have done a full video review, I'm not doing full video reviews for the clones and dupes over here. When I have done full 5 to 10 minute long video reviews of all these guys right here and posted them, if by that point my channel hasn't grown a lot more since then, or like that's going to be a long time, by the way. I do one main video a week. If my channel hasn't like really exploded by then I'm going to quit doing more of this kind of stuff. But I'll still probably do live streams with you guys. So I'm just letting you guys know, please give me your support. Please be there the best that you can. Go watch my other videos and comment and stuff. Because as YouTubers, that's what we have to ask for, is likes and support. But I appreciate you guys for being here. Now I'm going to do something that I told myself I'm going to start doing from now on. And if you guys want to quit watching, that's okay. But if you guys are okay with it, I'm going to end this with a prayer. So before I do, I'm going to do it anyway, whether you like it or not. But I'm going to give you a chance to stop watching if you're not okay with that. because I'm going to do what I want on my channel. But I just want to ask, are you fine with that? Are you guys willing to join me or whatever? I don't know if any of my moderators are watching right now. If you can, could you comment, please? But while I do this, again, anybody who's coming through here, I'm about to end this stream. You're welcome to comment while I do what I'm about to do. But again, it's my channel. I can do what I want. And with all the love in the world to all of you guys, I'm about to end this stream with a prayer just for you guys and for me. If you don't like that, if you're not okay with it, whatever. But if you want to start making fun of it and being hateful, that's not okay. If you want to ask questions about fragrances while I pray real quick, you're welcome to do that, and I'll try to answer them before I go. But anyway, just comment if anybody's okay with that. If you're not, can you please say something real fast before I do it? Just whatever. But again, if you're not okay with that, just go. So I'll answer one more question before I pray. If you guys are fine with that. Anything you guys want to know about any of these fragrances before I get started? What does that sound? Oh, I just realized, okay, our house's air conditioning just came on. But seriously, anybody who's watching, is there anything you want to ask before I start? And again, if anybody wants to be hateful or make fun or anything like that, cool, as long as you keep it without saying vulgar things. I'll give you a minute while I check my phone real fast. Let me see what's going on here. Oh, dude, no way. You guys are awesome. I don't agree personally. Somebody just commented on my video about Xerjoff Naxos and said that they got a brand new bottle, which I got a brand new bottle, and they said that the new version's trash. It's not true. And literally somebody just commented on my short from the other day about Xerjoff Naxos and said it's trash. I'm sorry that you feel that way, but it definitely isn't. The new Xerjoff Naxos is still fantastic like the other ones. I'm just giving you guys time to comment if you want to ask any questions before I close this out with a prayer. All right. Sorry about that. I just had to get back to this person real quick. All right. Anyway, with that being said, I'm about to get started with what I'm going to do. And all right. So I see that some of you guys have already gone to start watching some of my other videos. And I thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate you guys with all my heart. Well, anyway, I'm going to close it out with a prayer. So thank you, God, so much, my Father, for being here with me, with these people who've been watching my video. Thank you so much. I'm praying to just give gratitude for another day alive. For anybody who's watching, however they feel about this, that's okay. I'm just grateful that for their life as well. We might not know each other, but there's other humans on this earth. We share love for fragrances. We share love for life, for family, for the beautiful things in this creation. I pray just for peace. I'm not going to ever pray for people to have money or wealth or anything like that, because those are not the most important things in this world. What is important is that we have gentleness and peace and compassion. And I pray that we're able to have that. I pray that we're able to have like true love, not in this necessarily a romantic sense, but for like one another as humans. And I just want to say thank you, God, for this day. Like I said, for these people, for anybody watching, I just hope that they have happiness in their heart, like true joy, long-lasting, sustained joy, and not just temporary joy like we all seek after all the time. So I ask for your love, your mercy, your grace. I thank you for those things. And I just lift everything up to you and pray that your will be done in our lives, and that we choose to follow that more than ourselves as much as possible. And so give us patience, give us compassion, and just thank you, God, for everything and for this day. In your name, Jesus, I personally pray and send love to everybody who's different, who has different opinions and beliefs. We're all welcomed here. So to you, God, I love you. And in your name, amen. So that's me personally. Thank you guys for being here. Again, I pray. That's just who I am. But I have nothing against anybody of different walks of life, different beliefs. Honestly, even for me, whether you want to think it's a placebo effect or not, it's okay. That's your choice. But I know it's genuine. Even me sitting here having this time to pray and spend time with you guys, it feels very special. So thank you for being here. Any more questions before I go? Any questions about any of these fragrances before I go? And if not, that's fine. I'll give you guys 2 more minutes maybe, and then I got to get out of here. In between now and then, if you guys don't comment anything, I'm going to run and use the bathroom real quick, and then I'm going to cut the camera off. If I come back, there's any questions, then I'll answer. What in the world? My wife likes to leave her socks everywhere. All right. Well, time to wind it all back in. I see that there hasn't been any more comments while I was gone. So thank you guys so much for watching. Andrew Lane, the Douglas Moon Fragrance channel. Hope you guys all have a beautiful day, and I'll see you guys next time.